Right. And stop calling me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Closing Acumen. Uh, on today's edition of the Closing Acumen, we'd like to welcome everybody. Well, as you come up, we ask that you you share the show. We ask that you share it, share it. So uh, uh, as you come on, uh, welcome guys. Welcome to the Closing Acumen. Uh, a lot of things happening today. A lot happening today. A lot is going on in Liberia today. Uh, a lot is going on. A lot is going on. So we're inviting you to just share the show if you are here. Uh, if you're here, share the show, and let's get it going. And so, but we are live, and we'd like to invite everybody, guys, to the closing argument. Everybody are invited. So so come up and let's do this. The closing argument is on, uh, and we just want to invite you to come up and enjoy the show. It's a lot of things happening in Liberia today. A lot happening in Liberia today. The president is in Seoul, South Korea, at the Korean African Summit. President Boyka is there, and uh, okay, uh, President Boyka is there with other world leader attending the summit. But we'd like to welcome you. We will be on Truth FM shortly, and Hot FM. We're going to be on shortly. So we invite you to tune in to the Closing Acumen. Uh, we will be on. We'll be on. Uh, and yeah. So Vice President Boycott is in Seoul, South Korea. Welcome, guys. If you're watching, just share the show. Just share the show. If you're watching, uh, 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 just share the show. We are on live now. We're on Truth FM, but the president of the Republic of Liberia. There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on. We heard there was a major, they were having tea at the DEA. Liberia, people. Oh my God. Look at that country is that government official fighting. It's a time for them to go. It's a time for to take them back, but it is not looking good. It's not looking good in Liberia. At the DA, we heard that the director A.B. Krumah and Mr. Fatiga got into a little brawl today. They had to disarm the deputy director. The police have to come in. Others have to come in. This is not good for the country. This is not good. It's a time that they go. It's a time that uh, 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 somebody somebody be giving the back door. It's a time, you know. So we want to see what happened. It's a lot of stories, news, and what have you. I mean, it's a lot going on. All sets of news is happening right now. So we invite you to come in, uh, join us slowly. Uh, we have folks joining us from Australia. We have my dear Frank watching from Ghana'sville. Uh, 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 we have Alaska Pay. He's watching from India. Welcome, my friend. Thank you. Benedict Gade, watching from Georgia. Brother Benedict Gade, great to see you. We have Angie Clinton, great following. And then we have Liberia Impact, watching from Sydney, Australia. Guys, as you join the show, we kind of live today. We've been having some issue, but we want to thank the God. The show is uh, 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 it's on Hot FM Live and Truth FM as well. So we'd like to welcome all of you to the show. We have Oscar watching from Paintsville City. Welcome, Oscar. We have Arnold Tiller. He's watching from Michigan, and we have uh, let me not Kusaka Dossier watching from Maryland County, and Angie Clinton as well. Christian Roberts, welcome. Alex Cross Washington watching from Paris. Great, great man, guys. Actually, John just shared. We've been having some technical issue today, so but we are back. Ali Kamar, good to see you, everybody. So we just asked that you share the show, but there's a lot going on, man. I'm telling you, I've been following the news, and it has not been a small quick team. I heard that DEA, uh, 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 they have major quick at DEA today. You know how the Liberian call it, Liberian people? They call it quick. Uh, so it's a time that somebody take the back door. I think it's important. You can have people dealing with gun and can't get along. So it's time that I believe the president needs to step in. But we saw the president with a high power delegation. I think almost 30 people traveled with the president uh, 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 to South Korea. So it's a beautiful place. I was there for 12 weeks many years ago when with my university from Georgia. We were in Seoul, Korea, and bear with us. We just been having some interruption, but yeah, Patrick Kennedy. Uh, he said, "I hope you guys will discuss the former president advisor who were arrested for a criminal scam." I mean, how you gonna take money for the people, $900 each, and say you're giving them visa? You're not MSA. I mean, this guy got to stop that, man. He's not an MSA to be taking money from the people, or Reverend Nimland. You pastor a very big church like that. I mean, and now the people behind you for the money. I hope Reverend Nimland will do the right thing. Just give the people the money back and let it not escalate to that level. Reverend Nimland. But it's sad. You can't take people money when you're not having visa. Patrick Kennedy, Sylvester Carter, Sigway, watching from Monrovia. Welcome, Sylvester. Miss Yumtra Kanga from Minnesota. Hi, gentlemen of the Coaching Acumen. Yeah, glad to be here. We are here. There's a lot of news. The other guys will be joining us. We've just been having some technical problems, so we're trying to get it adjusted, but we are still live in Liberia. We're just talking about the president. Today we saw a photo of we didn't put he put it there himself, Senator DeLon, and I was in business class again and have showcase the photo. Some people are so used to this Facebook. There's something you just can't keep it. They just can't deal with it. Every little thing you do, you got to put it on social media, and Liberian people will get really upset seeing those kind of photos because this was the same thing they were doing with President George. We are flying private jets, people flying business class, and all of that. So, and now Senator Dillon, he was showcasing, and we get in trouble for that picture again. But guys, it's good to see you. We as we said, we've been having some technical issue, but the guys are here, and the news is about to come up. But we got a very special announcement to make in regards to us having we have made some changes to the platform. We made change some stuff around, and we want to give everybody the opportunity, especially when it comes to if you have a small business, you need some promotion. We can help you do that, but for a smaller fees, because we want to keep the program going. We operate this program and we do it pretty much on our own. And we want you guys to come in and be a help. We still have our cash app, and we appreciate every now and then you can drop in, a little bit. Anything you have, you drop it in there to keep the show going because we want to keep it going. You guys want us to come up every week, but it's not. It's expensive getting it on every week and stuff like that. So that's why we try to promote it. But we should be starting, we have an announcement to make in regards to uh small business promotion. If you want to promote your small business, we can definitely help you do that. Uh, 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 and we're just gonna have you, for small fees. You can just bring it right there, and we will help you. We'll help you. So if you have a small business, you own a small business, you want to reach out to a larger audience in Liberia and the diaspora. We got some great news, folks. We are here. The TCA is now open for advertising opportunities with a dedicated, engaged group of followers. Your business can gain exposure it needs to bring in more customers. So whether you are a local shop in Liberia, an online store selling jewelry, or you provide service like insurance, ship goods to Liberia, we have the perfect spot. We have the perfect ad guide. Please connect with us. We can work together to create an amazing ad for you for your business. So you just need to contact us and we will be really, I'm telling you, we got this stuff going, folks. So let's jump into it. We'll bring this announcement to you again as we move forward with the show. But let's jump into it. Chief Centurion George is here. Robert Gagwa is here. We want to keep this show up right away. So Tumani, there you go. Take over from there.
Oh, guys, good to be back, man. Closing argument on a fresh Monday, June 3rd, 2024. Good to see you, Robert and Ansu, Dr. Peabody, and everyone. The news of the days are trending. Just got off the phone with the director of the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, Colonel A.B. Krumah. And I've also been trying to talk to people within the government. From what I can tell you, I think some hair's going to roll out the LDA. The LDA. And I said it on this show that no matter what happens, the A.B. Krumah and Fadiga and when the other guy called Kwabo, what's his name? Robert know this guy's good because he will talk to him. I know that I can tell you they won't. Somebody got to go, but I know AB will not go. I can tell you for a fact, AB will not be leaving that position. He will stay as director of the. He still enjoys the confidence of the president. In fact, can you imagine the first lady is in America? She will be in Pennsylvania tomorrow, and there are people already lobbying for the job, trying to talk to her tomorrow. I see some top security folks. People are trying to go there to. There should be a Woo service tomorrow, everybody, and people are trying to be her there to get this job. Look, Liberia is a hell of a country, but I think I'm ready. I think, but before we do that, the president political advisor, Madera Cooper, she's in the news. She's been accused of taking some her friend husband, the guy who they made ambassador, special ambassador Alion Kebe. His wife is here tonight, but let me get off the phone, get off the show a little bit, and talk to her before I come back. So, people, you continue. Let me talk to Sergio for a minute, please.
Robert, welcome, man. Robert, welcome, Robert, welcome.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. It's great to be back.
Yeah, I read. Can you hear me, Robert?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you will bring it out a little bit. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, the show seems to be hard. People asking all these questions. I see Tomolin over there choking. You don't even know how to introduce the guest. Trying to figure out what to say and how to say it the right way. But listen, it's a great day. It's great to be alive. Great to be healthy. It's good to see you guys today. I guess it's a lot has happened today, and I guess we're gonna delve in them as the show goes on, man. And it's a crazy day, man. So I don't even know where to start, to be honest. And I don't want to get ahead of myself.
I saw you posting something about the business class.
Yeah,
Again,
but Dylan, I think he's to be honest, Dylan is not a guy that I respect, Doc. To be honest with you, I like the guy, but he's not a guy that I respect. And it's not that many people that I don't respect. It's one thing that you disagree on policy issues, but when you come across a character like that, like Dylan, right? For me, everything that has occurred, he just seems he comes up very not himself, and I think that he he has hurt himself in many ways. I mean, this is the man who people talk so highly about, and I won't even go to his education level, none of that stuff. That's none of my business. But just the character, right? The character to put yourself in a situation where you feel like you're forced to be seen and you're forced to voluntarily and knowingly lie about flying business class. For me, it takes away everything, and it doesn't even matter whether or not you can afford it, but the fact that you make money, right? You make money, more money now than you ever made in your entire life. You've been afforded a lifestyle that you can live now, right, than ever before in your entire life. And it is your prerogative as to how you use your money. But the fact that you use your money the way you use your money and still come out and publicly lie about it, and then one brought to attention, you double down and continue to lie until you are caught, about business class. And I don't blame him because he didn't know, this is strange to him. I mean, we know that, you can't just walk into business class to speak to Dr. Peabody. If Dr. Peabody was in business class, I have to wait until we get out before I speak to him. It doesn't work that way where you can just walk into business class and say, "Hey, doctor, how you doing? Can we take a picture?" It don't work that way, right? And so to just willingly, blatantly lie like that, I have no respect for him. And it seems like he's fascinated about this lifestyle that the Liberian people has afforded him on the premise of lies. I mean, he criticized everything else until he became elected, right? He talked about government officials buying cars, budgeting $2.7 million. And when given the opportunity to reject the very car he criticized, he didn't take that. I said that I would have been the first one to send him $2,500. I made a public post to contribute to a car. Imagine if that man had rejected that car. Do you know at that moment, do you know how many Liberians would have bought him a new car for himself? And he took the car, and and his argument just didn't make sense. But to see him posting a picture, sitting with the president in business class, I mean, it tells you that he's just fascinated with the lifestyle, and I don't blame him for it, but I just don't respect the guy, and so I'm glad that they didn't fly private jet this time. But if I was him, I would not be posting those kinds of pictures. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be
yeah,
posting.
the optics. You're talking
Yeah,
about a senator and the people are going through, because these were the same words. People are going
right.
through hardship, and you are
Yeah.
out there in business class and showcasing picture on Facebook and stuff like that. This was the
And then,
same.
30 seconds, I know Lufa and other guys gonna come in. And then when you say this thing, the people say, "But and you can post your own person." I'm a private citizen.
Person.
I'm a private citizen. I'm not a public figure.
Yeah,
I can do
Guy,
whatever I want to do.
right.
guys, quickly, will be a change, but Sergio Jurawa, she will speak, she will talk for a few minutes because there's a change in situation. So I will let her talk to the country for a few minutes, and then she will tell you exactly the next plan. So, Sergio, you live.
Can you bring her? Oh, she's not going to come
Yeah, can
to.
she come on? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, she live. Go ahead. Yeah, you live. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you. We can hear you.
I have to get out of because I'm having the echo, I think, right?
No. You guys can hear her, right? Yes,
Yes.
you are live. You are live.
Oh, perfect. Oh, hi. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on your lovely show. Thank you so much.
Yes, so just tell them exactly what you and I just discussed and the plans. So just tell everybody listen.
Yes, yes, that I wrote this letter to the president, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, and will come on the show to discuss this letter and the bigamy situation that's happening in my family. As I said on my letter, my husband got married to Magdala Cooper while his husband still divorced with me legally in Paris. So I filed a court case already in Paris for family abandonment, and he never respected it. And since Magdala found him a job as a youth ambassador there in Liberia, he just ran away there and completely forgot about his family and his son.
Yeah, so she will be because of I think she will be making her appearance. I think tomorrow or Wednesday. Sergio, when Wednesday?
Yes, this week or on Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah, so on Wednesday she'll be
I'll come.
yeah, she'll be in person. She'll be live in person on Wednesday because of you know she her voice and everything, but a lot of stuff. But she'll be in person on Wednesday. She'll be in person on the show.
Can you just clarify though? Have she known Mandela personally, and for how many years? I just want to clarify that.
For many years, we met in 2006 in the south of France, and she's been coming to visit me in Paris, in Africa, in Senegal, in Dakar, because my parents are from Dakar and from Banjul, from both countries. My mom is from Senegal and my father is from Gambia. And I visited her many times in the US, in New York, and also in Liberia. I even lived in Liberia for a few months during the campaign for George Weah, for the former president, yes. At the time, my son was a baby, so he was going to school there, and we stayed a few months to campaign with her. So, and even like when my son was born, because I was living in her house when I was pregnant, and when my son was born, she was in the hospital with us. She was in the room when I was giving birth. She was the first person to hold my son, because my husband was not even in New York at the time. So she was in the hospital room with me. So this is how close she was to me. So she knows me very well, and for a long time.
So you guys were great friends. It appears that you guys had a very
We're like
good
sisters, because I would really consider her at the time as my big sister. All my friends, all my friends knew her. My family, I know her mother. I visited her mother in New Jersey, her brothers in Liberia. I mean, her whole family knows me, and she knows also my family.
So quickly from my end over here, I heard you supported her candidacy. Is that why you were in Liberia campaigning? Is that what I'm hearing, or you were campaigning for another candidate along with her?
She was at the time supporting the CDC, supporting for George Brexit. So I came to help. So I campaigned with her.
Okay, and then
to help me out.
Okay, because I think, and then shortly, I'm just going to make this quick statement. I followed one of your interviews on another local platform, and you spoke about similar behavior. I guess is habitual of her exhibiting these kind of behaviors. Yet and still, you bought into her idea of coming to proffer suggestion for the presidency of a country that is in dire need of good leadership. What do you think about your contribution?
Oh, sorry, because the line is like I did not hear very well the question, because it's I have the echo.
Okay, I'm saying, knowing what you mentioned about her before on a couple other interviews, you said in your statement, and I can't quote you forbiddenly, but you said she's habitual of these kind of behaviors. But yet and still, you supported her for the candidacy of our presidency, all right? in the country, and then you came to campaign along with her. What does that? I mean, what does that say about you as a person?
Yeah, but can you just repeat the beginning? Because it's the beginning of the phrase that I was not hearing before. Now I can hear you perfectly. Before I had the echo. So I'm sorry to make you repeat because my English is not that perfect and I did not hear very well the question. If you could just repeat again without the echo. Now
It's okay.
I don't have the echo
Okay.
anymore.
It's okay. When she
So
comes on the show,
basically, what he's saying is that you knew about Mandela's. According to you, you knew about her behavior, and this has happened before, and you've known her for a long time. So
Oh, okay.
why did you support her candidacy knowing this behavior?
Hey, okay, no. I did not know about this story before because when I met her, she told me that she was married to these people. That she had her daughter and her son with the guy, and that she was married with them, and that then she separated with them, and they bought her a house in America. So the only time I started to know about the real stories about her was in 2018, 2019, when I start to learn things about her. Even when I made my first interviews, I remember even my family, my father even asked me, how come you never checked her? You never checked your friend to know, her background or things like that. And you hang out with her for all these years and you don't know all this about her. I said, but she told me she lived in this house owned by her husband. I saw her kids in there. Whoever goes to a person to ask her the papers of their house, somebody tells you I'm living in this house with my children, you believe them, right? So when she told me this, for me, it was the truth. Only afterwards, when I have to start having problems with her, I start now to investigate on her. This is when I learned that, okay, this and this and this is going on. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Some people are saying, yeah, that this is a private matter, right? I think this is a private matter, and I think this is a court matter, right? Mandela Cooper's personal life, to be honest with you, from our perspective, has little to do with her public life, right? So, how do you respond to those who question why you've made this public? Why have you written the president rather than taking her to court? What is the objective here?
I mean, the court, I did it already. I don't know if you read my letter. So I made a court case in Paris for family abandonment. That's the first step I did. And then now we're going to a second court case, which will be asking for the divorce. So the court, I'm doing it. It's not that I'm not doing it. It is a family matter, that's for sure. But it's also, for me, also a public matter because the president hired Magdala as his political advisor, even though I think she's the one who needs advice. So I don't even know how she can advise him, but that's my personal opinion. Then I had my husband as a youth and sports ambassador. So they are not private in the private sphere anymore. They're public figures. So when you're a public figure, I think you're supposed to have a certain behavior. You're supposed to have a certain, this kind of characters normally have to be, I don't know how we say it in English, irreproachable. You should have like a moral standards, integrity and all that. So for me, it doesn't fit with the political figures that they are. If you're a political advisor, you're supposed to be, having your own husband and not involved in bigamy. It's not the first time that she's, having affairs with people who are married. She has 3 kids from 3 different married men. It's not something that I invented or something I'm making up. It's there. It's online. I'm not the one who wrote it. It's those women that she made the kid from, those husbands who wrote it in America. I'm not American. I'm French and Senegalese and Gambian. So when you have this kind of characters, I think the president it also concerns him because he's supposed to check people's background. If you want to hire people at those high positions, you have to make sure, they are people that you can recommend and that have like a good character. And this is not the case. So of course I have to write to him because he hired them.
So are you saying that she recommended your husband for a job because he's going out with her, and that's why she gave him that
Exactly.
job?
Exactly. I even sent to the Liberian media the recording with my husband, which is like almost an hour recording, where he says that Magdala is a horrible person, asked me to forgive him, tells me that it was a mistake that he did to marry her. He doesn't know how he even ended up marrying her. It's something that she organized online. I don't even know how is that possible, but why not? And that it was a mistake. He's saying it on a record. The president can listen to it. It's public. The record is there. He was even presented on different shows in Liberia. So the whole government can listen to the recording. It's not me talking there. It's my husband explaining how he got into this situation with Magdala and finding himself doing horrible things to his family, abandoning his son, asked for my family and for me to forgive him, asking even God to help him. So then Magdala finds him a job in the government and he wants to go to Liberia and starts now to make the former lies they were making before, that they don't know me, I've never been married to him, and on again. So you cannot come in February, make that statement on record, and then go back to Magdala because she finds you a job, and now start saying another thing again.
So let me
Now,
ask you the last question,
okay.
and somebody else can come in.
Mm.
But
So
is your
that's the only reason.
is your husband Liberian? Is he a Liberian?
Sorry?
Is your husband a Liberian?
What's his
Of course
nationality?
not. He was a Senegalese. I mean, 2 months ago when he left Paris in February, he was Senegalese. He did not have a Liberian passport. So if he had a Liberian passport, in the meantime, is that Magdala who made it for him through their marriage. But for the moment, since I've known him, he's always been a Senegalese man. He has a Senegalese passport. He was born and raised in Senegal. Not like me, who even was. I grew up in London. I grew up in Europe, but he was born and raised in Senegal, in Dakar, and left only at the time when he was playing football in Europe. So he's a Senegalese. So that's the only reason why he's marrying Magdala, to get a diplomatic passport there and a job. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but if he wants to do it, he has to make sure he divorces first. The same way he went to get married, he has to do the same to get divorced and then go to marry whoever he wants.
Anybody else want to ask a question?
I think Toga was gonna go, but Grace or Alex.
Grace, you can go ahead. I'll go last. Okay, Grace, not ready yet. Ma'am, it's good to have you. And I personally know Magdala Cooper. I lived in New York City, and we went to the same church. And so I know a lot about her. We were great friends.
Yes.
And one of the things that I said publicly during the campaign was that this woman does not have any characteristic of somebody who should be advising or who should be leading our country. So when I say that, and most of the allegations you're making here, they are correct. Okay, these things were all published. So it's common knowledge. But the Liberian people have a way of seeing wrong and supporting it only because it benefits them. That's just our culture, unfortunately. Because no good president will get this kind of information to place this woman in this kind of position without any qualification. When I knew Magdala Cooper, I never knew her to be a professional person. She was a model. Then, and after her modeling career, she started this foundation, Magdala Cooper Foundation, in New York City, and that was it. And like you said, was supported by her, her love children's father. So everything you see here is true. Now, I don't get into people's personal life. Okay, as far as who she wants to sleep with, who she wants to have babies with, that's her prerogative. My only concern here was that she was not qualified for a position. In fact, at one point, I almost took her to court. People had an interview because she she was a shady person in a transaction. So I know what I'm speaking about, and I wrote doing the her appointments to different positions or rumors of her appointments. Now, like I said, it's good that you're bringing this out to our people because we just don't support what is right. If somebody's friends, like I said, I know her, but I'm not going to sit there and say what she did was correct. And this is not the first time she's done that. If you want to go into public life and you want to be a part of leading the country, then then you honor scrutiny. Then there's some
Well,
responsibility.
we lost
Uh,
Alex. Alex, we lost it. We lost her. So you guys continue.
Okay, I'll just wrap up and then
Sure, yeah.
think. But I didn't have any question. I just wanted to validate what she said. For me, it's not a political thing. Mandela Kuba is very incompetent and she's very very a corny person, not a good character. She's shady. She would do anything for money. She would do anything to get to where she wants to get to. And those are the kinds of people that President Joseph Boakai will surround himself with. That's why I have no respect for President Boakai. Okay, because the people around you, if they are people who don't have any kind of integrity, nobody can say anything about them, their best friends, the people who know them, then you go ahead and still place this woman in a position of authority, and today our country is suffering. I question your morality and I question his leadership. That's the bulk of it, because this is an international embarrassment. It's an international embarrassment. Why every time Liberians, you have to mention Liberia, it has to be something negative. It has to be something, scandalous. Why can't some kind of good positive story come from our country? Because our leaders, have no integrity. They do anything to win. They do anything to, this is the last person. Yes, a woman that even, have a child with the former president. Okay, you can sit here act that you don't know all these things. What kind of, it's a hypocrisy in our society that we don't stand up for truth. That when people in power, we get afraid of them because we won't be in the good books. We won't want, the hell with all of that. Truth is truth. You can't have somebody of that kind of character from one person to another person, from one, what is the example for the young women in Liberia? Be like Mandela Cooper. Do whatever it takes to get where you want to get and don't care about who you hurt. We're international. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but there are certain moral and certain things you just don't do. And this woman has no limits to what she will do. And like I said, I blame nobody but the man you're all elected and the man you're supported. And Boakai is going to take that country down. Take that from me. I've never been wrong with my predictions so far. This man is going to tear that country apart because of his indecisions and the kind of morality he has, with complete disregard for anything that is right. Everything is about, what benefits him. Okay? There are a lot of Liberians who need jobs. Lastly, just 10 seconds. There's a lot of Liberians that are qualified. Why would you take someone in another country who is not even a citizen? People are looking for jobs. All they were talking about employment, suffering. You hire the woman, then you go and hire the woman's husband. Is that not nepotism? Is that not what all the off stand up against? Is that not what we accuse Ellen Johnson, former president, of for putting her sons in power? But when it comes to the people we like, then it's okay. So thank you very much. I said my piece, and you got what we deserve.
Toga, go ahead. I want to say something.
Thank you. And it's good that Madam Sajo Juwara will be on the show again on Wednesday. So we have time, but it's very unfortunate. I think Mandela has wrongly gotten a lot of publicity for herself in the last few days, which has even superseded the president's visit to South Korea. I think the country should have been focusing on that and the gains that have been made. But instead of that, people are all over talking about Mandela and this situation. It's all in the news in the country. It's the most trending news right now. It's the most discussed, and it's embarrassing. What's most embarrassing, is the fact that Mandela knows this woman very well. Over 18 years of friendship. 18 years. In fact, there's a photograph that I even got where Mandela was in the labor room when this woman gave birth to the same 8-year-old baby. She was there. I mean, you can't do this sort of thing. And then you marry the man with all the men that votes in the woman. The man has technically abandoned his family in France, and he's here with Mandela parading around. And Mandela was able, when the news started trending, she was able to proudly post a photograph of she and the guy, in some romantic move. What sort of attitude is this? This is completely, I think, unacceptable to me. And it's good that she was able to write the president. I think this woman wrote the president and CC Kape, all of our major stakeholders. I don't know if any of them have reached out to her, spoken to her about this matter, but it was surprising. Even the president pro tem, when Mandela posted she and the guy's photo, the president pro tem went on her and were almost happy in the situation. A female, for that matter. Instead of the president pro tem picking up the phone and calling this woman and finding a resolution to the matter, she was happy the matter on Mandela's posting the man. And they know it's a crime. It's my understanding the woman wants to sue them in the US and in Senegal for what they're doing. This thing has been going on since, I think, 2021, the first time this news broke. It's just this year that it's picking up with the kind of steam it's picking up with. But it's completely unacceptable what she's doing. The woman basic issue, I think she had an interview on OKFM today, and she said her basic issue is not about whether she gets the man back or not, whether people thinking she wants some money from him or not, but the fact that they had a kid, he must be able to take care of his responsibility, which he's not doing. And this is Mandela who got case by these people, and they are taking care of him. In fact, it's my understanding that one of Mandela's case, the girl, for example, she earns over $15,000 monthly for child support for the girl. And she thinks that another woman should have a kid by Aliun Kebe, and that person, should just be dumped on the wayside and nothing should happen. It's unacceptable. It's hypocritical. And the fact that even the president will appoint this sort of man, a foreigner for that matter, in our country as youth and sports ambassador. I saw the level of work the former captain of the national team is doing in Liberia. All these people are here. Former footballers are here. They agree we can't go back to the Wias era and always get him around. But we got several Liberian sports fanatics that are here. We use them. We take one man who, I think the highest level he played in soccer in Europe was second or third division. And we make the man our youth and sports ambassador because Mandela says so. And I want to agree with people who say President Bouakai is not in charge of the government. It's been proven every day that he's not in charge. Because how is it that almost all the top people in the country, all of their relatives and friends are in the government? I see why most of the Unity Party people are very disenchanted. Many of them, you saw them, they protesting at the headquarters that they're being abandoned there. They can't find food to eat there. That is the reason. Check. Prince Moi, the number of people the guy alone get in the government. Check. Darius DeLong, his in-laws, and the number of people he won't get in the government. The government just seems to be circled around a few people. Senator Nyambli Kanga Lauren, her entire office staff, she sent all of them out to the executive to work. I mean, and most of the grassroots that fought for the party here and there, they left undone. So that's why they're protesting. And then to add insult to injury, we're taking somebody from West Senegal and giving a job in our country as though we don't need it ourselves. Giving diplomatic passport, paying, I think, over $7,000 a month he will be making and all of that. We're taking care of his housing and other allowances. For what reason? We can't even pay the coach of the national team. The foreign coach of the national team is threatening to even leave because we can't find money for him. But we get one foreign guy we brought in only to be ambassador of youth. But to go do what? The guy basically speaks French. Even English is not even good. So why are you going over this? He can't even go to France because the woman has sued in France and won the case in France. So he had to have gone. He's on the run. And you bring in Liberia is a safe haven for people who commit crime all around the world. This is very bad. So I just wanted to make that point. Joshua will come, like she said, on Wednesday, and we can question on many of these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you invited Mandela Kuba herself to the show too, because I think she should have an audience.
Grace, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, it's nice to be here. And this is a sensitive matter. It's also kind of personal. So, I know the platform is set for certain things, and then, sometimes these things will come about. It's also, to me, a scandal. So it's kind of affecting the government that is in power. And right now, with everything that's going on in the country, this government don't need this kind of scandal. But I personally think it's a sensitive matter. Is personal, and most time in these kind of cases in other countries, you will see that the person who has the scandal, they will probably want to resign their post for now, and settle their domestic, affairs. So the government cannot be off front and center like it is right now on this platform. So I don't really know how to come in with this matter, because it's very personal. Now, this woman is her husband. She said they are not divorced, and Mandela is taking him. She's saying that it's her husband. So we don't. It's like in the Bible where the women were fighting for the child, and one said I born the child, and the other one said that my child, and then they told Solomon to split the child into two and share, and Solomon decided who to give the child to. So this kind of thing, it has to go to court. And then they go from there. But like, if I was advising President Barker, I would tell him that I think Mandela should step down. The scandal is too much, and it's too deep. It's been going on for a long while since the campaign, before she was ever even working with the president. The scandal was already there. So even him appointing her in this position, what position she in? He appointing her being an advisor to the president. I don't know how he even did that with that kind of scandal behind this woman, and then her husband being hired. I just think it's unfair to people like Salisa Diba. Salisa Diba supported President Barker government. I think it was fair. It was going to be fair for them to even give him that kind of position, because he brought stardom to the Liberia football game. He was one of the people that put Liberia on the map. So for you to see all these people in line, and then you take the position and give it to somebody who is not ready or Liberian, it's an insult to Liberian people. So, I will hope the president will look into this matter, because the main wife, the legal married wife, you can see that she's not leaving this matter. She wrote, I saw letters, and I see, so she's going to push to the end. So for the government's sake, Mandela Cooper already love Liberia, the way they claim that, their love for the country. She will step aside right now, because the scandal is affecting the government. Thank you.
If I may, let me. If you give me 1 minute, since we're giving our thoughts on it, I will reserve my comments on the particular matter until she comes tomorrow, because I would like to listen to what he has to say. But I want to play the devil advocate a little bit. I know Mandela Cooper as well. And I want to be unequivocal. All right. I think that the character of all public figures is important. And I think that as role models, there are people who look up to us. And you're under a lot of pressure. You've got to conduct yourself in a certain way. And certain behaviors should not be condoned, especially in this case. So I will reserve my comment. But here is what I want to say. And I want to be clear. This have got nothing to do with this woman case. What I want to speak to is the double standard when it comes to what women, right? And this is general. When it comes to what women go through domestically and in their own personal dating life, the kind of pressure that we put them under and the standard that we demand are not the same standards we demand from men. And if we are going to put women under these kinds of standards, the question their character, their moral right, the moral characters and things like that, then I think it's equally fair for us to question men as well. because these are two adults, right? I don't really care about what adults choose to do, right? They are all adults. But when people start to talk about the woman having babies by certain people, and you blame the woman for having babies by certain people, or you blame her for sleeping with a married man, then the man who is married should be held more accountable because he's under a certain commitment, right? He's not forced to sleep with, have extramarital affairs, right? And so I think it's unfair that there are many men in public service, in public figures. We have elected some of them today that are married, that are having babies outside of their marriage. These things are not put on the ballot. They are not put on the ballot. The question is, why are they not put on the ballot? We talked about their qualifications. We talked about, everything outside of the scope of their personal lives. Even today, none of us are perfect, but there are men in public figures today who have been caught on video having two sons with young girls that are old enough to be their daughters, and we've turned a blind eye. We've turned a blind eye. So the point that I'm making here is, if we must criticize women in public service, and if we must demand some moral right from them because they are role models, then I think we must equally demand that from men as well, especially grown men and grown women. It's not right for any man who wants to remarry should first divorce, and so I don't support that. And I hope that this is resolved. But generally, this is not good looking for the government. It's not a good look for the government. I hope that this is handled right. But again, like I said, the same standard we put women under when it comes to their personal lives and all of what we just mentioned, being a role model. I think men who are predominantly in our politics, who we elect and we appoint, who makes more money, I think that we should be able to put them under the same scrutiny when it comes to extramarital affairs or anything that has to do with morals and things like that. Thank you.
Look, I want to come from the point of appointing that guy from Senegal. One reason I asked that lady whether her husband was born in Liberia or where was he born, or if he's a Liberian. And, I think it just shows how vulnerable our country is, and even the government is. You don't even do a good background check. You just bring people and appoint them. And this is how you call it now, quick pro or what? You tell the man, oh, if you can't do this, or we did, I will give you a job. I'll secure you a very good job and stuff like that. And he got a job. She gave him a job. She had that much influence in the government until she could get him an ambassador, a large job. I think it's very sad for our country. That's why we see all kinds of stuff is happening now in the country. I still don't believe President Barker is in control, because some of these things that are happening, he ran. Look at how many people he carried with him to Korea. Your government don't even have money like that. You carry almost 30 or 40 people behind you to South Korea, and that's an expensive flight. The money is very costly. I mean, you're spending almost $200,000 to $300,000. I don't know how long you're going to be there, and you carry all this people behind you. And you the same thing you criticize the previous government for. Oh, they carry a lot of people. And you're doing the same old thing. Some of the people on the trip that they just should not be there. It make no sense. You're carrying that kind of crap, but you're appointing a Sierra Leone. So we don't regard our own people. You got a lot of qualified Liberians that could have taken that job. You take a Senegalese man because he's dating somebody in your government, and she convinced you to appoint this guy. And the two of them got the stuff going. Whatever coming in, they'll be able to split it among themselves, support themselves, and you bring it in your government. I think it's sad, and I think we're just going to see a lot. It's just a cycle, And the Liberian people, who the victim, the Liberian people, the same old cycle of broke, corrupt people. They come back in every now and then and just take what they can get, cut a piece of the meat. If you go to the Brazilian restaurant, they got the meat. They just keep bringing the meat, and they'll give you this little card. You put it down until you turn it over and say you're done. They will keep bringing the meat. They cut and look the other one. And that's how Liberia is. Everybody coming just cutting and cutting and cutting. Nobody want to share it. Just among the cycle. That's why you got God at DeLong putting up pictures today, sitting in business class again, laughing at Liberian people after criticizing all the other people. It's sad for our country. Really, really sad.
Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting interesting by the day. The issue about Sergio Juara, I mean, Robert asked a good question, but it is a public matter for the fact that uh, this man representing our country as youth ambassador. I think, if I'm mistaken, last night I was watching the live from Seoul, South Korea. I think he's on that delegation too.
Everybody.
I'm sure, because I heard his name. I'm sure when the lady was calling those who were present, the Korean lady, I'm sure he mentioned. I'm very sure I heard his name, and so
something that other country will never do. Other country will
in
never
our
do.
country, there's a law. There's something called bigamy. If that's why you can't be married to women, and that's why the lady says she didn't have a problem with him being ambassador or whatever the case, but she concerned that with her kid and so, and then she in our government. So I think President Boakai needs to really get involved. Trust me, she has spoken to Ambassador Grisby already about this. President needs to get involved. Her husband will be appearing on another network tomorrow, and then the reason why she wanted to wait for that appearance. That's why she tabled this appearance tonight. She wanted to find out what will happen. But she making, honestly, she has a child, and the child, she feels that her child is being abandoned because of our country, because of what's happening in our country with this assignment. So it's only good that either the president said, look, you take two of them and say, you handle your problem, or the government, they're distracting the government, let's focus on it. We can handle it, we can talk about it later. But right now, it's distraction, and so forth. So we just look forward to see what will happen. But I think it's a public matter. They are all in the public space. This man is being paid by our Liberian taxpayer. And everywhere he flies, he has our Liberian diplomatic passport. So your love is not about private again. It's public. So we have a right to talk about it, and a lot of people to come and give it. And this very guy, I reached out to him too, and I tried, and he said, "Oh, I will call you back," and he didn't. So now he can't say we didn't reach out to him.
He's in the firing line now. But the thing is, like Robert was talking about, and I understand you say you are playing the devil's advocate. But Robert, we've actually ran after men who did similar thing in this country. If you remember the Knockers Gate, they ran after him until Ellen had to dismiss him. Ellen was so saddened about dismissing the guy until she said his action, must be immoral, but it was not illegal. That was Ellen's response. Remember, on the 5th day, she dismissed Willie Knuckles. So it's not
but
just
did
about...
you guys, you going way back to Willie Knuckles. Did you guys run after George Weah Asadu, the minister who flogged his wife, his girlfriend in public space, domestic abuser? Did you run after him, and he was married? He went for him.
The media did.
Yeah,
no,
but
It's a topical issue in Liberia for generations. It has never stopped.
But wait, that means it's not
about individual.
The lady in question.
If you push him back,
but you gotta get it clear now. Let's get it clear now.
People there did that, and nobody did nothing to them.
No, but I get it clear. Okay, the incident you mentioned just now, the lady she refused to come forward to say whether it happened or not. So you can't blame. As it was said, it didn't happen. So there was she couldn't corroborate what Azido was saying. So what do you expect the people to do? If she felt for a victim, I'm coming.
Okay,
because at that time I know we were on Spoon, and Azido was I think Francine at the time said she had a problem with Isaac coming on the platform with that situation. Now Azido just left this platform for a time. But the reach out to the lady and say, okay, if they accuse Azido of doing these things, come forward. She didn't come forward. So, and the man said it didn't happen. So what? I mean, come on. So what
okay, so what I want to say is that there was video evidence.
What video evidence?
There was video evidence on him beating the girl. People recorded that stuff.
There was no video evidence.
I'm telling you now because there was video evidence. I will find it. And I will
in Liberia. Nothing happened.
I can give you countless. I can give you countless of Liberian situations where men were butchered, they were discussed.
He beat her in a public space.
No, that's not true.
Even if the woman came on and said she didn't want to press charges, the state can press charges for her. They counting.
But
Most of other people have pressed charges for her because we saw her being abused. Other women seen they were being abused as well.
but you said the woman said abused. The woman who says she was abused. The woman said nothing happened. She can't say nothing. So you just
Yeah, but
charge her.
if they have witnesses that witness it,
Well, stop it.
Then the witnesses come forward.
Yeah, when they
But the
come forward.
witnesses did not come forward.
The
witnesses did not come forward. Ellen
beat her.
Johnson Sirleaf, we had another situation with an EPS, I think EPS officer or so, that beat a girl. But that issue was publicly recorded by an individual and were released. I think Ellen had to dismiss the guy. But if you don't come forward, you don't speak, no witness has to even record the episode, then it becomes a problem. They say the court does not go looking for cases. Cases go to the court.
When the time came, they asked the woman, they must say nothing happened. She said, no story that happened, nothing happened. I said, they were beat up. So the people just lie on. So come on, you expect they're charged Isaac for nothing? Nobody even acted on Isaac. I mean, you're not fair to him.
So Tomali, you want to tell me that Isaac don't beat this woman in a public space, in an outing facility, with entertainment space? People saw him beat her.
But
so
why did not come forward?
Is afraid for her life and said that she don't want to testify. It means that the government couldn't do nothing on this matter. That's what you're trying to say.
But Grace, but you got to bring evidence to say the other people come and say it happened. But nobody come and say it happened. So let me frank, Grace, we'll all be on our stuff.
We advocate against that case, and everybody, people were live witnesses were there, it happened, and somebody had a clip recording. I will look for the clip recording.
But guess what now? You see one thing about advocacy, right? Advocacy, they shouldn't just be the advocacy. If you want to pursue it, you pursue it to the court. You I mean, sue. Go to the court and sue, and that advocacy can work. So now go to the court. But just talking and saying it is one thing.
But if the woman is saying that she says she cannot testify for herself, what will happen? Or advocate cannot go and sue for her. But the
so now you agree. So now you agree with Tamlin. Now you agree with Tamlin.
Yeah, because I just said what happened, and the woman said what happened.
I'm not agreeing with him. I'm just saying, I mean, but what I know you saying that this is a public issue. Let me tell you something. People, they got excellent workers that work in different companies and in an organization. They will work very hard when it comes to their job. What they do in the bedroom is not a public issue. Now, if the infiltrator come and bring scandal to the government, then we are telling the president to do something about it. But if somebody come and say, if this woman talk of husband, the other woman say I'm married to the man, they need to settle that. It's a sensitive private issue that they need to take to court. If it's affecting the government in a way now, like how we said now, it's affecting the government because now this husband is higher within the confines of the government. It means that Joseph Boakai now need to have to start letting some people go or to handle their business. Or Mandela Cooper as a woman who has, if she respects herself, she'll say, you know what, I will resign the post to take care of my domestic affairs and move on.
I'm gonna leave you like in a fact joint resign.
So Tommy, right? But I just wanted to highlight that. I'm glad that Grace mentioned that. Just like we are sitting here and expecting President Boakai to come back and act based on this woman's desire for some kind of justice. I told you a few weeks ago, President Boakai would not act on the asset recovery team, and up until today's date, you have to hear anything. This entire incident, dead, and President Boakai would say nothing. Mandela will maintain her job, and she will come right back on the social media, and she will make mockery of everybody else who's talking about this. And it will be a continuous process. Just like often, President Boakai doesn't care. It's not that important. Look, we gave this man a retirement package. Let's just accept it until after his retirement package is over. Then we can hopefully find somebody to replace him. Because right now, that's what we did. We gracefully provided a retirement package that never existed.
I agree with you, yes.
Give it to him. We give him a retirement package and a pension plan that he benefited from. So let him enjoy it, and let us continue to suffer what we actually got ourselves into. And I say
for me, I don't. There's no reason why Mandela.
I agree with you, Julius.
The man is earning some money. The man must be able to support his kid. The president could take some action by cutting the man pay regularly and sending it to the people.
I don't agree with that.
They don't have to resign their job. He's working for money. He should be able to support the kid. It's that simple. So the
Look,
president will institute a measure to cut the man pay. Already he giving the man free $7,000
the president
Why
got
he get
nothing
this
to
when the
do
money
with
and be
it.
sending it to the family?
I think the president got nothing to do with it. My only concern here is the manner in which he obtained that job. That job could have been going to Liberian people. What he and that lady doing, it's a normal thing that happens all over everywhere. But the way he obtained that job is what I'm concerned about. She brought her boyfriend in, convinced him, and he gave the person a job. Rather than taking a Liberian, you take a Senegalese who hardly speak English and give them a job and pay them Liberian taxpayer money, traveling with him on your trip. What in West Africa or entire Africa you see any country take a Liberian or Ghanaian or Nigerian will take Liberian until they put in their own presidential trip. We bring too many people close to our president and we don't even care all of that to bring disgrace and things out. But I think we need to move on to the next topic.
But the woman got real power. How this woman was able to insert herself into UP government? Because she was not a UP person, right? She's not a UP person. She inserted herself into the elections. Inserted herself.
So rescue what? How do you call rescue what? Rescue NT.
Rescue NT.
Rescue NT. She made sure she held Katumu back, and the woman got the job she wanted. Then she brought her husband. This is you don't see how it's so. It's kind of I don't know what terminology to use.
But
So
plenty
she got
people and their wives and their auntie and their sister in the government. Do you know the senator for Bond County? His wife is also on the board of LPRC, Prince Moy. It's a whole family thing.
Let me.
Do you know
as we move on to the next topic,
her brother is assistant minister at the Ministry of Education.
I was moving to the next topic.
The amount of relatives that brought relatives in our
It's
government.
all over the place. Dara's Elon's sister-in-law is the Minister of Education. It's a bunch of family things. That's how they operate.
So as we move to the next topic,
the amount of relatives that brought relatives in our government a joke.
Okay. But let me say this though. Let's see what happens. Okay. The guy in question, he will be appearing on another network. After he appears on that network, she will kind of appear, and then from there, let's see what after they break all the stuff. Let's see what President Boga would do after he have got. They're all watching this thing. They will find out. They will put it together, and then they will pick a decision.
You need to let Mandela go.
So now, let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. But another issue we discussed today is the issue about the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency. I was told today that opening Robert can help us on it because I think he's been following that story good. But let me open it up. I was told that they had a meeting. Went to a meeting today, and AB requested that. I talked to all of them today, and AB requested that Fadika nobody should carry arms in a meeting. So Fadika said yes. They took the arms from them. When they told them not to carry the arms in the meeting, they told them they shouldn't carry the arms in the meeting. They took the arms away from them. The high with his arm, and got into that meeting. But then I think what they got to call Bawoko, the other deputy.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that he heard a lot of insults at AB. He attacked him on a serious thing there, and then the police director had to go there, Gregory Coleman. But from all indications, I said it on the show when I saw that piece picture they put up with Ambassador Grace Bay, Mandela Cooper, with Kofi Woods and Fadika and AB. I said, look, that will not last long. There's no way they will work to coexist. They won't work, and that's what's happening right now. The President Boga has a choice now. Either he has to take an action at the LDA. There's no way the three guys can work together. It's just not going to happen. No peace. They can do any peace to bring them together. It won't happen. I spoke to one of the other guys. I didn't speak to Bawo guy, but I talked to AB and the Fadiga. There's no way they can work together. The president has to act now. And what I'm seeing, the guy, the code of public opinion, which I believe, the code of public opinion, I think they favored the two deputies, and then people in the government and the legislature and so forth. I think they favored AB. And then I'm hearing just now that the United States government support the LDA. I'm hearing that it may affect their support to the LDA with what's happening right now. It may be affected, and it will be affected. So if the Liberian government wants the U.S. government to support them, they cannot have that. What's going on at the LDA? And when it happened during the WIA administration at the Bureau of Concessions, President WIA took action, I think, and somebody was removed from there. I think they removed someone from there. One of the deputies were removed. I think Gregory Kuma was the director. Later on, he was removed too. But this is what happened at LDA. You guys can win. We'll start with Robert. I believe that my thing is that I don't think the three of them can work together. It's not going to happen. That's my thought so far. Robert.
Thank you. Look, it's unfortunate what was happening at the LDEA. It's truly unfortunate. It doesn't look good for the country. Certainly, it does not look good for this administration, and especially when the president is away from the country. It does not set the right tone. It's totally unprofessional what those guys are doing. But the fact of the matter is, and I think maybe AB Kloma is listening. I think that I think he has set the wrong tone when he went on public radio to call his deputy a kid. You don't do that. You know, you have a grown man. Look, we're all grown men. A guy, one person is not used to the system, right? You can call him a novice when it comes to the Liberian system. And here is another guy who is a part of the status quo in Liberia. Obviously, he has an advantage when it comes to the size of the cry and the noise, right? And obviously, from the get-go, they never liked each other. They never liked each other, not because I don't believe that AB thinks that Fatiga is more experienced than he is, but I believe that AB saw Fatiga as a threat to business as usual, and this is the bottom line. There are things that we have not heard, but there are information from the LDEA that you know, AB does not trust will stay in house with a deputy like Fatiga. And so if you want to lead and you want to set the tone, I think it was important when the situation happened initially, they should have called a meeting in-house before anyone releasing a statement. If you notice, there were no statement released from Fatiga when that first incident occurred, even after he was disrespected publicly by AB Kloma. We pushed him. We said, don't let another man call you a kid. He did not say a word. Now, when an announcement was made that there's a new drug in Liberia, and it's good to mention the support from the United Nations with regards to the fight against drugs. There are potentially millions of dollars at full year, but the U.S. government have requested honesty and transparency from this government across the board. And so when you put out a press release that there's a new form of drugs in Liberia, and this drug is called zombie, then you must also attach the scientific evidence to back that. They did not do that. They did not do that. Now, Fatiga released a statement and basically contradicted what AB said about the zombie drugs. And he said, from all indications, there's no drugs called zombie in this country. He didn't like that. If you listen to the press conference today, he made mention of that, and he brought someone to elaborate on this new drugs. And they asked the question about, how did you guys reach the conclusion that this drug is a zombie drugs? And the response is, well, when you take these drugs, you act like a zombie. That's not enough scientific proof that because people take drugs and act like zombies means there's a new drug called zombie in Liberia. When you take cooch and you smoke marijuana, cocaine, people act different ways, right? And so they didn't like that. Now, you don't like certain things, you call a meeting as a leader and you have discussions. The fact that AB Kloma has requested that guns are not brought into the meeting raises a lot of questions. Are you saying that these people are not trained enough to have grown men, professional conversation without guns being in public? These are two public officials with arms. Are you saying that's not the case here? And so not only were insults thrown at each other, these guys had a fist fight. These guys had a fight. And then you go to a press conference. I don't think that Fatiga should allow AB Kloma to control the narrative here. If AB Kloma as a leader, if there's something happening, you've already written the president. And the communication to the president that I've seen is very clear. He has communicated to the president to either dismiss Fatiga or send him somewhere else. It's clear that they can't work together. But if anyone should be dismissed here today, if anything, both of them should be dismissed for their conduct in public. This is not the first time it's happened. But I personally, my personal opinion of AB is that he's not a professional. I'm sorry. He has not exhibited any kind of leadership other than his ego trick and being the boss and giving demands at the LDEA. He doesn't see Fadiga as a colleague. He sees him as one of those regular Liberians that you just sit back, don't say nothing, and be a yes sir to him. It doesn't work that way, right? And so this is where we find ourselves right now. I believe if I was president of Liberia today, I would dismiss Abiy Nkrumah and Fadiga, because as a leader, whatever happens, whatever dysfunction that happens under your watch, you take the responsibility for that. And I don't think he has been able to deal with this case accordingly and in a professional way. I don't think they've done that. But that's what's at stake right now. And so don't be surprised. Unfortunately, given the system that we find ourselves, Tomalin, I don't think Fadiga will survive. But even if he's not going to survive, I think he should push back. And I can guarantee you, you know the Fadiga brothers. When the Jones 7 incident did not go well, it was Fadiga who went out and released secret documents about what occurred, including financial documents. I can guarantee you that there are information there are information that this guy probably have right now, and the president here will be tired, because if they dare remove him, and under these circumstances, you will see what will happen in the media in the next few months. And so this doesn't go well for them.
Well, let me, for the next person coming, what Robert is saying, and he's saying a lot of things tonight, and we are listening carefully, because honestly, the short time the Fadiga has served in that position, it is true that he has access to a lot of information. And I would say in Liberia, that whole drug is a cartel. People in the government, from past government, and I mean, people, it's a cartel that is a very strong syndicate, people involved with. And if he has all the information, you know, he will send it to the public. And the thing is that I think they got to handle it very carefully, because look, right now, as I said earlier, the first lady is in America. I think tomorrow she's having a program on a place called Wood Service Campus here. Somebody supposed to come today and say, "Look, you're going there tomorrow." I said, "So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what? Nothing." So people already gearing for the people jobs. People, security people, they want the job. They want to go run their wires with the first lady so they can get in the job already. But what's going to happen? There's no way President Boga can keep the 3 folks at the LDEA. There's no way. He either remove someone gotta be let go. Somebody gotta be let go, or else it will be a problem. But the next person coming.
So, you want me coming? You want me coming?
Toga, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. You know, I think the problem at the LDEA, first of all, the two individuals are very temperamental. Both Abiy Nkrumah and Hassan Fadiga. These two guys collaborated the other day and pepper sprayed a private citizen. I've been raising that issue. A guy called Papa Too Sweet. And the only issue they call him Mamu also, is because the guy flaunts with his vehicles. So AB says at Boulevard Palace, or I call it Royal Grand Hotel, invites the guy and telling the guy, probably maybe you're doing drugs, that's why you own this number of cars. It doesn't make sense. AB leaves the DEA's office, goes to Royal Grand Hotel or Boulevard Palace or any hotel, sits there and invites people there to ask them whether they're doing drugs. What sense does that make? No surveillance. He's not doing any proper investigation. He's all over the place and calling people and saying whether you're doing drugs or not. Hassan Fadiga on the other side goes there and pepper spray the guy for agitating for his right. It's unfortunate. Those two guys need to go. They really need to go, because that place will be very chaotic, and the next thing that will happen over there, probably people will start hunting each other, because all those guys are carrying guns. Today, there was complete pandemonium at the LDEA's office. Now, somebody jokingly said to me, they see Zogos there that you say you want free of drug, where they want party here today. You can imagine that? You're not supposed to be helping the Zogos there or in the street. They were the ones standing there, those kind of stuff. So it's a serious matter. Those two guys need to go like yesterday. It's embarrassing. this matter has reached the presidency before. I think the Minister of State and the Minister of State with our portfolio, other people have all spoken in this matter. The guys returned and they're doing the same thing. The issue with Fadika, for example, is gross insubordination to me. I mean, Fadika cannot. You can't have a boss, not because the president appoint you and the president appoint the man. The man is a boss. And Fadika was in the room. Fadika was in the room when that press conference was staged where AB announced that there was Zumbi in town. Fadika was sitting across the table. I will find a recording maybe and send it to somebody to put it up. He was there. It was not a press statement that was issued. No. They had a press conference where Fadika was sitting across the table when the man announced that there was a drugs in town called Zumbi. In fact, Fadika dominated most of that press conference. At that point in time, he did not question whether or not there was a drugs called Zumbi. Only when he and the man have an issue, then he goes on the public domain and posts there that there is no drugs in town called Zumbi. Lack of coordination. Your boss man can be saying one thing and you saying another thing. It means you don't know what you're doing to the place. The both of you don't know what you're doing to the place. And it's becoming a serious issue. It's embarrassing the state. In fact, today the police had to go there to go sort out the issue, and all of that. It's too irresponsible. It has to stop. The two guys need to get dismissed. The president needs to act swiftly, because the next thing that will happen, people will pick up arms, they will shoot at each other in that place. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Because the Fadika man, I know, he quick on picking up pepper spray. Anybody who quick on picking up pepper spray, even for a civilian who is not carrying arm, it's possible he can pick up arm anything and shoot somebody.
That is
He
not true.
needs to work on his temperament. It's very serious. This man, just by having issue with him, he already blocking you on Facebook. Just by having issue with you, he already want pepper spray you. If this man is carrying gun, and I think AB was right by telling him, say he might not carry gun in the hall.
So what? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm telling you, I'm
Come
very
on,
serious
man.
about it. The man, how you expect that kind of man to be carrying gun? The man, a boss man say on a table, a boss man say Zumbi in town. The man agree on the table. He go back 1 month later and he post something to say no Zumbi in town. Who gave him that instruction?
Okay.
Why didn't he pass it by way of his boss before he made it public?
What are you talking for 10 minutes?
See, that's what I was saying. I said,
let me.
Okay. No,
the case is divided. You got to cook a public opinion. They are divided now. Those who in the public have taken a side. Those who in the government have taken a side. So that's why I say it's important that President Bouaga and the Justice Minister now come and intervene and call the shots there, because this cannot continue to go long, to prolong. Peabody?
Look, to me, I think the best thing here is to let the two of them go. That would be the best solution. The two of them, VP Bouaga should just cut it and say, look, man, AB fought for this job, but just to come up there and prove that he's not being serious about it, to be honest. I mean, we must learn how to work with other people, I mean, we can't be, what is it that you guys can consult each other regarding a drug bust? You saying one thing, he's saying another thing, it's not true, and you saying it's true. The lifestyle, again, we saw that big disgrace going on, the two of you going on another platform and trying to go against each other. I think it's not healthy for the department. I think that both of them got to go. I think AB need to be fired. Fadika need to be fired. They need to go. If I was Fadika, I would resign right away. AB, but I think it's not helpful to stay there. AB doesn't own that job. It's a government job. I think it's time for him to go. He had a private security. I think it would be a good thing for him to go back into a private security. But I think at this point, they are a disgrace. They are a liability right now to this government. I don't think they need to be there. I think they need to let them go. You can't be sitting there and you having a top security agent in the country and you can't even solve your own problem. How you think you will grab somebody who's selling drugs and doing things? Because there are a lot of stories of people being called and then later on they release them just to prove that you are being very proficient or you're being on top of things just to prove a point that is not true. There's a lot of stories. So I think at this point, they need to go. Let them go. Let somebody else come there and bring fresh start to the department so that folks can, the employee there can have every day. If a child sees his mom and dad fighting every day in the home, it's not healthy for that child. It's not healthy for the home. It's not healthy at all. And that's why the employee are saying every day, the two bucks, everybody will have that clique and they're arguing back and forth. I think at this point, if President Baca is really on top of things, he should have let them go a while ago. He should let him go. He's on conference, and there's an international news. Other people there from other countries are saying these things. They are reading about it. Oh, President Baca, how come two of your GA people are fighting among themselves and stuff? It's a disgrace to be on conference and to hear your house all in the street. You know what that means? That is bad. I think they should go.
Let me go to the Lofa. But if I go to Lofa, I'm saying this. You see, there's a problem having a government of coalition government. You see, the problem they will face is this, right? Don't forget, ACOP, where AB belong, where AB party, ACOP, they play a pivotal role in Baga winning the second round. Because if you remember, if you monitor election in Liberia, during round 2, the runoff, 2 districts flipped to UP. The district that CDC won the first round. But because of ACOP, the district flipped. They flipped to UP. That kind of able to take to make that thing in Monserrato. That's why you see now, like all you guys are saying it, but for Baga taking action, it comes with a lot of stuff behind it because it's a coalition government. Because yes, ACOP recommended people in the government for the positions and so forth. So I said there's somebody else there. And again, with all the work AB then did and other stuff, I don't know how to do it, but again, the boy is in President Baga's code. Lofa.
So, what I gather from this entire rigmarole is simple, right? It's the us versus them syndrome. Do it the Liberian way or no way. If you come here, even though you have some level of expertise or you are knowledgeable in that area and you try to make an adjustment to the environment, we're not going to let you do that. We will never allow you to do that. You know why? You must do it our way, the Liberian way, or else we will fight you until you get out of here. That's the reason why every time you hear people go to Liberia to work, they tell you, say, oh, you better do it our way. Oh, you got to do it this way. But when you are consistent and you refuse to do it their way, they will do everything to make sure that they can break your way until they can find you as part of their little clique, and you are doing the same thing. And that's part of the reason why Liberia continue to remain on the track she's on and would appear not to even change. The reason why an Alexander Cummings became a victim of the problem today when they gang against him and took him to court is simple. He refused to buy into all of their nonsense. So guess what? They gang against him and said, look, we will take you to court. We will break you down until you will buy into our corrupt practices. You will do things that we do. Until then, we would never allow you to be that political leader that you think you can be. Hassan, even though, his brother, we go back and forth a lot because of his loud talking here, back and there. But let's be honest here. This young man went to Liberia with the idea to say, I am here to institute some form of change. I want to be part of the change process. You know what Abraham Koroma is saying? This is how we've always done it. We've never done it the way you want to do it. Instead of listening to his deputy to say, okay, what have you noticed? How can we change things to make sure that we get the best result? Guess what he's saying? He's feeling a little bit more like, okay, I'm ticked off that this young man is coming in here and he appears to be a little bit more knowledgeable about what he's doing because of the experience somewhere else. So let me fight him and make sure that I can put him under control where he can be submissive and do exactly what I want him to do. I am not here buying into, Hassan's idea of being disgruntled or disrespectful to his boss. I would never support such idea because anybody in leadership wants to be respected. Anybody, anywhere or everywhere. Nevertheless, we cannot ignore the fact that in order for you to be successful in Liberia, you must go through so many things. My cousin died, the former LDA boss, Marcus Soko. My first cousin died in Liberia. because the way he wanted to do things, they did not like it. So they would do any and everything to fight. You know what I'm a little bit puzzled about is the fact that Hassan is still even here trying to do this thing, because these guys are brave enough to go the extra mile. I heard, and it is alleged, I heard that Ibrahim Kumar was he was a UDMO fighter. It is alleged. I'm saying it is alleged that he was a rebel. So who knows to what extent or what length can this brother actually go? So when we are discussing these things, I think we should look at it from a diverse view. But I think the bulk of it is in the hands of the incompetent president, Joseph Numa Boakai. He's not going to do anything about this. You would think that he should terminate both individuals, in this case, to bring a little bit of peace and calm, bring somebody from the outside to make sure that the fight against drugs is successful. Unfortunately, he's not going to do it. So at the end of the day, our people remain victim. But everything that I'm sensing here is that ego. Kumar wants to feel like he owns the agency, and Hassan Fadiga is coming in to say, look, I'm not going to let you do that. This is where the power struggle is, and this is where we fall flat on our faces. Thank you.
Well, Chuchu.
Okay. I'll just listen to you guys. First of all, I have a very short announcement. I will be I've taken on a role as one of the editors for a local paper in Liberia. So I will be writing a lot on the local paper in Liberia. So I just wanted to disclose that.
Congratulations.
What is the name of the paper?
I would disclose that at a later date. But because I feel that all of these press and these papers in Liberia, most of them, if not all, they're very corrupt. They get paid to write stories. They write stories that are more politically motivated. Just listening to my brother Lofa here, thank God he's not running a paper. And this is not a personal attack, because he's saying that, I'm glad to hear him saying that Joseph Boakai is corrupt. Okay, that's good, good news. That thank you for just not acknowledging that.
No, staff
I've
always said this from the get-go.
Okay, hold on now. But let me finish. See, you went on. I patiently disagree with you.
No, but you mentioned me, though. I have to respond. When you mention me, I have to
but let me finish, then you can respond.
Address the issue and forget about mentioning, because then I want to respond. That's what I'm saying.
Timothy, can you mute that man mic? I have a right to say what I want to say, just as why you have a right to say
what you want to say without mentioning Lofa, though.
I can mention anybody. This is a public forum.
Okay, then I'll respond then.
Okay. Let him land.
Just don't interrupt me. Okay, just don't interrupt me. You can respond, all right? You mentioned Alexander Cummings. This is the same man that was parading Joseph Boakai and Benina Ure, form a coalition. This is the same man that went to Liberia and did exactly the same thing that you today are preaching against. He joined the same people. He did the same thing. He did the same, the same corrupt politics. As we heard our brother Ben the other day, that's all Liberia have to stick with. Joseph Boakai, and nobody else should say anything. Nobody else should dare accept the fact. So I see that as a double standard, where you're criticizing, exactly what you supported. First of all, listen, I know Ibrahim Kumar. I know all these characters. Most of them. I know everyone from Jersey when he was in school. Okay? Most of these people do not have the skills and ability to lead an organization. They are only in the position because of the dirty politics, the factional politics. All right? And these were the same people with the same Alexander conglomerated himself around, So, like I said, if we want to hold each other accountable, if we want to move that country forward, then we have to speak the truth to each other. Nobody in ANC can talk about the Boakai administration, because the only reason they're talking is because they're disgruntled that Boakai did not hear the coalition. I know every press conference that Alexander Cummings made, I have it recorded. Not one he said Boakai was qualified, he said Boakai was capable, until they fell apart. Then all of a sudden now, Boakai is this worst person. So Alexander Cummings doesn't have a room. He doesn't have a ounce of any moral rectitude to can't talk about Joseph Boakai. Like I said, you leave that for us who are saying Boakai was all along Boakai. But I will say this. They seen him with the Fatiga. The Fatiga, they jump behind Ellis Cummings one moment, all right, assassinated other people, character. Then they went to Weah. They assassinated people, other character. And these are the people who today are managing the security of our country. What do you expect? In what world you would take a male border security person and make him with no management skill? You know, the people think that running an entity like, you know, the DEA or becoming a minister is just something, you know, that because you work in the field, that means you're qualified to be the head of it. And so you see all the PR gaps. You see all the, you know, you see all the inadequacy. And lastly, you cannot expect the people beneath you to conduct themselves, right, in a professional manner when you yourself are not professional, meaning the president. We just seen here where the president got advisors, appointees with serious credibility problem, money being missing from the inauguration time, 300,000 missing. The president comes out and says, "Oh, the person who did it is an honorable person." Okay, Graceway goes bypass all the budget, nothing comes from all of it. You know, we see the yellow machine. So why would you expect any different? Why would you expect President Boakai to have the ability to monitor and manage people when he himself needs management in his office? Okay, you know, we can be serious. The solution for Liberia is to move away from these failed politicians. I've said it, and I will continue to say it again.
Okay.
You can't keep, like Einstein said, doing the same thing, appointing the same people, supporting the same people, and then get a different character. You bring Alexander Cummings, it would have been the same thing because all the people surrounding Alexander Cummings, they proved to be the same. They proved to be mostly people. Now, there are some good people in ANC. I knew ANC before even Alexander Cummings got in ANC when he came and bought the party and get dismissed and brought all his cronies there. You can set that kind of example. You can set that kind of example and think it's okay for you to now come up and say, "Oh, I'm the moral character." And that's why I have a problem with some of you. You're see wrong. But if it's on your side, then it's okay.
Okay.
That's what's destroying our country. We just have to be fair and balanced.
Can I respond quickly?
It's my time to talk.
No, wait. Tamale, don't do that, man. Tamale, everybody spoke here.
If you respond, then I have to respond to you. Know that, right?
We all spoke here. Let me just quickly say this, right? We all spoke here and addressed the issue. We focused on the issue at the LDEA today. When he came on, he mentioned me and
you don't want me to respond? Let Grace go time. We'll come back to you, Judas.
So if we keep on going back, it will be like a back and forth.
No. It's not going to be like a back and forth.
He's supposed to answer, but you mentioned Cummings, so the man mentioned Cummings. You brought it up.
He mentioned Julius. He said Julius. He did not say he said Julius. I want to hear how he not mentioned Julius. He said Julius. Grace, you would have been Grace. You know that. You know you would have been upright had this been mentioned, right? I simply have to respond to him. Go ahead.
So Grace, your turn.
Okay, so now you don't want back and forth. I will remind you in the upcoming days.
I am moving forward. I would say that with the Fatica and the DA, you know, thank God some of us we balance, we just fair here. And that's why I always say for me, I come here. If my political leader that I trust, Dr. Clarence Payne, whenever he does anything, I will say it here. That's the kind of person I am. That's why I always say that some of us we are different Liberians. Because we push for Liberia, don't push for individual and friends of party. I can't say something here because I'm friendly with somebody in the party. I want to keep my friendship. So not the kind of people we are. When something happens, we say it. We're here for friendship. We're putting Liberia first. Liberia is in the front pew. That's what we're here for. And thank God, so some of us here to balance this platform for us to be able to give the truth and put the truth out there. I would say there's when it comes to the DEA, the LDA problem, I'm not going to sit here and encourage a man to just be disobedient or be undermining of his boss. I don't know A.B. Kromah. I don't know Fatika, and I don't want to know them. But I would just say the truth because the truth is right to be told. You cannot be in a position and you have your boss. If your boss go wrong and you're subordinate, it means that your entire team going wrong. So if your boss is going wrong, those are in-house matters. You sat there in the press conference, the man said everything, you sat there, never said anything. And then you pass it around because somebody pays you or you make a Facebook page or a post. Are you guys taking these offices for granted or you taking it for joke? Mm-hmm. This is a security matter. This is putting our country at stake. They got something called the explicit knowledge, the academic knowledge. They have something called the tacit knowledge. That one, street, how they call the people, street smart. A.B. Kromah got both because he stayed in Liberia. He lived there. His life is there for a while. He did this job before. He has a security company that was very successful when it was a security company. He's serving the government before since I think 1985. He the one even decided that he put Fatika name to even get that position in his press conference. That's what he said. So if you get to the country, there is something. If you were smart enough, you will sit down for a minute and learn the style. Having a position in America is different from having a position in Liberia. I'm not saying the Liberian way is the right way, that corrupt way, but you have to learn how the people do stuff. And if you're smart enough, you will sit down and get experience there for at least 2 years before you start to bring your tacticalness into the people's system. So you can't come there and the DEA, the boss of the entire department, make a decision and come and make an announcement. You pass behind your car and say, oh, you want to act like you know more than the boss. Even if you know more than he, it's not your duty as a subordinate to say, you know what, I want to have a meeting with you. This is what's going on. I don't think we should do this. And this is what I found out. This is my findings on this. But you come and try to embarrass the boss in public, if that was the case, because I know that A.B. Kromah too know. He knows his job. He has experience. So if you try to come and say something else, you make your entire department kind of shameful, not only to the boss but to yourself. So we're not gonna sit here and come and back these things because we don't know the real issues that are going on. It has way more to do with than just what they explained to us, because you don't have to have the scientific name of the reaction of the drug to come and say it's a zombie drug. Everybody know people take those drugs in New York, they act like zombies. So the Liberian put it where they understand. The people say, okay, their drug is a zombie drug, and you come and just like you undermining the boss or the DEA. I don't think it's fair to the office. They made the office look cheap. This is a security issue. The president should be very concerned. I think at this point in time, they should have to let Fatika go because A.B. Kromah is the boss of the office. He can make that decision. They have at will employment in Liberia. They can hire you and they can fire you. It's not forced. Once they're not firing you upon discrimination, they can let you go. So I think that's the right thing to do. President Baga need to decide. Fatika need to be reassigned to another office. Because if you don't take down the tour guy said, somebody will get killed.
Wow.
Let me add something. Let me just add something. Firstly, I will say to Elliot, look, the best president Liberia ever had now was Ellis Cummings, and Liberian blew it off and brought a retiree to take over that presidency. But let me also say, Grace, I think you just listen to one side of the story and you come in talking about he undermining and he's doing this. There's two sides to every story. I think the best thing here would be to let them go and let some fresh people come in. But I don't think AB was doing so well in his private business. Why you want to come and get a job that you hardly going to make anything? So why you want to do that?
The president appointed him?
If he worked there before, why he want to even come back? I mean, why you can't pursue another area? But I think,
Grace, I thought you didn't want this to be back and forth. Grace, I thought you didn't want this to be back and forth.
Yeah, no, I don't want it to be back and forth.
Okay, then let everybody land there.
That's the same thing we're talking here. That when you know somebody, or then we claim that their side is the right side. But from all what we have been hearing, I think I don't think AB said demonstrated leadership. I don't think he did that. You know, from what I've heard, from what everything I listened to, I don't think they did it. The fact is, he just Fadika may have come with another style of leadership that he think it kind of he doesn't like, or maybe exposing in a way and stuff like that. And that's what we see going on. It's not coming and meeting somebody. He was not there long. They just appointed the two of them, so he didn't come and meet him there to say, "Oh,
But he's
yeah."
serving that position before, though. He's serving that
Whether he
position.
was there,
Well, I
whether
thought
he
Grace
was-
did not want
Grace-
us to go back and forth. Now
Grace,
she wants
whether
to
he
go
was
back
there
and
or
forth.
not,
Everybody.
they appointed
Really?
the two of them. So the thing is, they didn't. Apparently, they can't work together. So the both of them take it out. Bring fresh people in for the
But here,
sanity of the sanity of the department.
Well, let Lofa respond now. Let Lofa respond now.
No, Grace don't want it back and forth, right? Robert.
Lofa,
But
he
she wants to
said-
go back and forth with Dr. Peabody.
Lofa,
Let
he
me-
said him, man.
How you can be one-sided, Grace?
No, I'm
Now,
not
Lofa,
one side. I just be fair.
Lofa, come in now. Come in, Lofa. Let them make progress.
This is just look. In all honesty, when we come on these platforms, let us just be upfront, addressing the issue that is about the Liberian people, that is brought for discussion, instead of us deviating. I'm not here to tell anybody how to discuss the issue, because we are all mature and hoping that we are intelligent enough to understand that we are here to do the Liberian people's job. Let us stop deviating from the topics under discussion and trying to interject our individual commercial or stuff into it. I'll go back to the example that I made. Okay? Considering what is happening in Liberia, the us versus them syndrome. I made it clear during the elections. All right? Some of our family members back home, they will purposely go against us here simply because we find ourselves in this land of slavery. Okay? And I'll be upfront about it. For whatever reason, I don't know. Even if you have an idea as to how you can transform a specific agency or institution, they will tell you you must do it our way, the Liberian way. And in that example, I also gave you what Alexander Cummings went through as an experience where this political case that went against him. Fair enough, because that is the mindset of the people. At the end of the day, it came out that he had nothing to do with it, and the case was thrown out. But here's what I'm trying to say to my brother here. Why it is true that we want to change Liberia, I can give you the rest of the 6 years, okay, to go and run your propaganda. Let me see as to whether you would not collaborate with a single Liberian who ever worked with another a political party that should be considered corrupt. If you work with CDC, then you are working along with folks who are also considered corrupt. If you're willing to work with the UP, then you're also willing to work with people who were considered corrupt. If you're willing to work with Moneybags Party, you are working with a person who worked in UP as an institution that was also considered corrupt. Let us think logically here. How can we actually fight the status quo? Those few individuals who feel like they should control the dynamics of Liberia politics and keep other people as outcasts. The Robert Gagwa, the DeLorme, the what's his name? My brother, what's his name? I just forgetting his name on here. Okay, Gabriel Carter. Those are the people we want to start bringing up front to say, yeah, go represent us. And let me close on this note. Throughout the election that you're talking about, I was clear on my point that there are 3 options that we should consider. We had an Alexander Cummings, we had a Clarence Moneybags, and we had a Tier-1 Gungulu. Those were options that were viable and that could have transformed Liberia had we taken any one of those individuals into consideration. Instead, we didn't do that. So stop going around and making these statements that you have no understanding about, and you want to create this narrative as though everyone is supposed to be corrupt with the exception of you. Thank you.
5 minutes.
If I may, I keep hearing people talk about boss, and no one is talking about the fact that these are 2 Liberian working in the interest and on behalf of the Liberian people. Who is Joseph Boaka's boss? Who is Joseph Boakai boss? Who fires and hires Joseph Boakai? I mean, some Liberian may think that Joseph Boakai has no boss, right? Joseph Boakai works for us. He works for the man that cannot afford a meal in West Point, or the Zogo that we run after every day. He works for us. He works at our word and pleasure. And so this is not a private company. This is a public matter. And even if it's a private company, I've never worked in a private company where professionals did not understand the structure of leadership. And with the structure of leadership comes responsibility. And with responsibility comes respect. And I will be damned if anyone, boss or no boss, make any attempt to disrespect me in the name of being a boss. And I will be damned if anyone, boss or no boss, try or attempt to undermine my own principle under my watch. If my boss is making a public statement that misrepresents the facts, and there have been internal discussion to have him correct that misrepresentation, we are under constitutional and patriotic duty to speak up. This is how we breed corruption in our country. Oh, my boss, you asked the very Joseph Boakai during the election. If you said there were things you did not agree with former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, why did you stay? Why did you ask him that question? He's not under any arrest to stay under a situation that compromises his own principles and his patriotism to Liberia. Our public and elected officials they owe their loyalty to the country, to the flag, not to one party or some individual because, oh, he's my boss. And so if Abe Kloma lies to the public, and even because his subordinate was there, doesn't mean he can correct the facts. What professional boss goes on national radio and refer to his deputy as a kid? Is that professional language? Is that setting the tune to resolve internal matters internally? This man has never made any public statement to this issue. Even today, Ibi had a knee-jerk reaction and went in the public. And you know how he referred to Fatiga? As an advocate. And when you bring advocacy mentality to Liberia, this is what you get. You don't do that. That's unprofessionalism. I will be damned. Listen, I'm in close on this note. There's a deeper issue in our country. And I think Lofa alluded to that. Good men and women, and I don't always agree with the Fatiga brothers. And I've said before, I don't trust them when it comes to certain things. Because the very Fatiga that said Joseph Boakai was unfit to lead because he was old and ran out of ideas, rescinded his statement.
I have the video.
What is Joseph Boakai? I have one-on-one debate with them. They know, but I respect him still. He's a great person. He's a great person. So we can disagree, but let's be honest here. You don't start calling grown men kid. And you don't start telling grown men, oh, they're advocate. The bottom line is he's flexing his muscle here because he feels like he's part of the system. And he feels like, come what may, if there's a decision to get rid of anyone, he knows it will not be him. I don't see Joseph Boakai dismissing Joseph or Abe Kloma in this case here. If anyone's going to get hurt here, will be Fatiga. Because Fatiga is the new guy in town. It's the guy who all of the lawmakers don't know. He's the guy who, the question, first of all, the United Party don't even like Fatiga. They don't see him as one of them. So it's an uphill battle for him here. But I don't care what's happening. No man of a mother. I don't care, you're my boss, you're not my boss. If you want respect as a boss, you must earn the respect. It's not automatically given. So let's cut up all this. Oh, his boss. If your boss don't know what he's doing, and your boss has refused to take your suggestions and take your advice, he must be exposed. Abe Kloma is not an administrator. Abe Kloma is not a professional. And from all indication, he has not led on this issue. He has not. And if anyone must take the responsibility, it must be him, not Fatiga.
Hey there, TCA listeners. Do you own a business looking to reach a wider audience in Liberia and the diaspora? Well, we have good news for you. The Closing Argument is now open for advertising opportunities. We have a dedicated an engaged group of followers, your business can gain the exposure it needs to bring in more customers. Whether you are in a local shop in Liberia or online store selling jewelry, or you provide services like insurance or ship goods to Liberia, we've got a perfect spot for your ad. Your ad. Please connect with us so we can work together to create an amazing ad for your business. Contact us at the following phone number, 856-676-5136, and let us know how we can help your business grow. Lofa, this is your era, man. You know how to do this thing better than me. You're the one who got that voice for this stuff. I shouldn't be doing this stuff. So Lofa, you get the next one. You will come in because
We'll get
you-
well, no, you did, but you did a good job though. You did a good job.
that's
You
the era.
take good. You take good, my man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but I
good,
sent my
yeah,
ad
we'll
in,
get
and never
there.
give me the pricing for my ad.
No, it did not. It did not do good.
We'll get to that
So,
point. We'll
y'all
get to that
y'all
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
y'all- y'all put out the process, y'all, because someone who got add to wonder. Y'all put out the
okay,
process.
yeah. P-Battle will take care of that.
They
He
will,
We'll
they will
get to that.
draw up. They will draw up the price tag and put
yeah.
it up.
And we also want our
Alright.
discount. We got discount, right, Tomalin?
Of course, yeah. You know, you get this guy, yeah.
Yeah, you got LD a discount.
Yeah. But meanwhile,
But,
look.
but let me
Meanwhile,
serious, eh?
meanwhile,
I don't know if any of you
I come and
follow
talk out.
when
Meanwhile,
Ellie.
meanwhile, we got the AFL soldiers, Bobby Manning. We still, in fact, today, I managed to have gotten hold of the press secretary to the president in South Korea, and she said that they were I think the time different. It was 3 a.m. She said she was gonna the defense minister on a trip. She would definitely put me in trouble with the defense minister while on a trip. So I hope, looking forward to engage the minister Geraldine George to hear from the AFL, because we're hearing all kinds of different stories. We can hear different stories. We don't want to speculate. We don't got to start death. You want to speculate about somebody's death. So we're hearing all these stories. We want to make sure that we're on the right page. And then on a side note, I just want to say today the former president lost a son, Charles Salif, former deputy central bank governor, and also former acting bank governor of the central bank. I heard he passed away in Ghana early this morning. And our thoughts and prayers with former President Salif. And it's in less than a year, her second son. And it's not an easy thing to be bearing your son, you know. So our thoughts and prayers, and maybe all of you guys will talk later on if you guys wish. But I just want to say that our thoughts and prayers with Madam Salif and the Salif family. To Charles, I knew Charles very well, and to his family, and we're praying for them. May his soul rest in peace. And then also we'll also finish on the show on President Bouaka is in Seoul, South Korea. I hear the Pape making big news there, making headlines.
Man, no big news.
I hear the Pape making a lot of business dividends coming back to the country. He meeting with the president of
I'm hearing
South
about
Korea.
100 million coming.
And then African leaders, they all met there today, right? But you guys, let's go. Let's start with Toga. Then we'll make Toga. Let's make it 2 minutes so we can talk on these three topics.
On what? On the South Korea?
Well, we'll go with the armament dev of the South Korea. Where I want to do.
Oh, yeah. No, the issue of the issue of the gas death, it still ties into the whole situation of conflict in the workplace continuously, especially in the security sector. So it still ties to it. When there's continuous conflict in the security sector, in the workplace, these are the results you get. These are some of the results you see. And I wanted to even tie in to what happened even earliest time at the EPS. At the time, it was SSS. There was a situation continuously between Chris Massaquoi, I think, and a guy called Ashford Peel.
Yeah.
That thing became very tense until there was a shootout one day and somebody even got killed.
Yeah.
And I think Erling had to act. Same thing is happening with the DEA and everybody, the president and this, that, they seem to be overlooking. Same thing probably must have happened in the AFL that led to Manning's death. These things are growing concern. If you have a leader and you tend to ignore these things continuously, when it sparks, then you'll be finding all kind of means to fix it. The best time to fix the situation is now. And you're leaving it, you're not fixing it. When it gets out of control, and and something happens here, people will start tying it, whether the armed robbery, whether the accident, whether somebody went to their sleep and never woke up in the morning. All kind of situations will happen here. It's better that the president asked and asked in time. These were some of the missteps of even the previous administration. Things were happening, and nobody was taking leadership to make sure that we put the things in the right perspective. Nobody was doing that. So when these things grow and grow and grow, they just escalate, and it becomes disastrous for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go to Grace, then we'll go the other way. Okay.
I would say, concerning this whole AB Kuma thing, it's just funny that we sit in America and just sit down here and try to judge the people in Liberia and this and that. They got something here called equal employment opportunity. And when you work within a system or in an organization, when your boss is doing something that you don't like, you don't undermine your boss and come and someone also sit there and be talking. We can't even do that here because we'll fire us. We let you go quick. You can't even do that here. So I will still stick on. I don't understand how you can be deputy to somebody, and if they're following wrong process, it's your duty to have a meeting. If you're not satisfied with the outcome, then you reach out to the person that is over that person. Maybe you can reach out maybe to the vice president or something like that. But for you to start to make posts and the one person calling the set, I'm not looking. That's why I wish people were here. I don't care about what side of the story. The story out there is the story out there. The story is that one person calling their friend kid, the other person posting say the man doing the process the wrong way. And it's not supposed to be that way. Because are there anybody on the platform? None of y'all will go to your office and go tell your boss that, oh, the process wrong. So therefore I come in here, I will post on Facebook, you're doing the process. It's not going to happen here. For us to get brought to a stage, for us to be a country that we all want to see, we have to do the same old thing that we learned here on this in this great country that we're being exposed to. So when you can't go to Liberia, you know the practice that is not going to happen in this country, and you go and practice it, then you and your boss going back and forth. It don't happen here. We have been in offices that our bosses have done so many things to us, and we go through the right processes to make sure that we report these things, not to come and so I don't know the two people, to tell you the truth, and thank God I'm in that state, because that's why we're just talking as it is. I don't think what's going on is right. I don't think it's right to AB Kuma. I think he is the person that is taking the more weight on this thing. I think they wrong him. I personally think that. And I don't think what he's saying to his subordinate is even correct, that he called him a kid. But I think that the president needs to let one of them go, and it should be the subordinate, because you can't let the boss go. Period. That's what I think. And as far as the president visit to South Korea.
No, we'll come there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're talking about the AFS soldier, right? Okay, so the AFS soldier, we need to really look into this AFS soldier death matter, because I personally think that it's been covered. They are not saying it as it is. I heard a lot of things from friends this weekend. It was not really promising for the country as far as the army is in chaos. So if they let this man death go, be swept under the rug, like all the other deaths that happen in our government, the Mary Ellie, the EPS officer, it will look like the same old thing happening again. This man did not deserve for his death to not be investigated. We have not heard any substantial thing from AFL. We have not heard no real statement. Nothing is in the papers, except one of the papers carried. I didn't see it. They need to investigate the matter so that the Liberia army can come back to where it used to be. The respect for the army and the kind of level of intelligence that people look at towards the army is being taken away gradually. Many people are seeing public opinion that this man was murdered, and they believe a certain group of people did it because he was part of the organization of the army wife protests. Until today, that protest was investigated. The government has not come up with any findings to bring to the. I think they came up with findings, but they have not brought it to the public. So we don't know anything about the investigation on the army wives and the problem they have with Prince C. Johnson, trying to state their stance that he will not be the justice minister. And Prince C. Johnson too is not a saint, because a lot of army people are not coming and saying all kinds of things that because of him, most of the people never got the benefits. So it take away from the government like that. When these things happen and you got findings, you did investigation, and you did not come to the public or do press conference for everybody to know what's going on. And that's the reason why the scandal and the public opinions will continue to be in these cases. And we all will be giving the public opinion until the government can come and tell us what is exactly going on. That is my take on that.
Alex Jones, 2 minutes to wrap this up.
Okay, I knew you were going to come with that. Anyways, well, we got some good news in the world today. El Salvador president was re-elected. They're still counting the votes, but he's winning by over 85% of the vote. This is a 42-year-old young man with no public experience. He's turned our country around. When he took over, crime was around 80 something per 100,000. It has dropped to 7 per 100,000. The best in the whole Southern America. New York Times, any news today around the world are raving. Gangsters, the country used to be paraded with gangsters, affected the tourism industry, and it's all cleaned up. They even held the Miss Universe recently. That's what we should be hearing about Liberia. Okay? Fighting crimes, providing education, healthcare, living standards. If other people can do it, El Salvador just got an independence not too long ago. It's a small country just like Liberia. They had all the old corrupt politicians, useless politicians there for many, many years. This man came and in 4 years' time cleaned up the system. El Salvador today is a miracle. It's not impossible. But you cannot get the kind of achievement that you want for whether it's a business or company or a country when you have people who have proven over and over again that they are incapable, they are unqualified for the position. And that's what we should be discussing. Let's go forward. Let's look forward. Ibrahim Kumar was Minister of Defense. Ibrahim Kumar, I think, was police director before. Did Liberia crime go down? Did Liberia feel safe? Did we have a better life standard? Did the drug problem, but the only reason he's minister, or DA, because simply, like you said, the politicizing, the political win. If we carry our country in that direction, we remain where we are for another 177 years. You can't keep appointing the same people. There are plenty of capable young Liberians, some years serving in the police force, some graduated from top colleges in law enforcement, other things. Why do we keep? I wrote an article a few months ago called "Keep Recycling the Same Recycle People." But one politician can bring the whole group behind him. But that's the thing. In fact, government job is not a right. If you disagree with your boss, two things you can do. You can retire, you can resign from the position if you feel that this is not a place that conducive for you. You can leave. You don't have to be there. The other people, if you that qualify, you can go and do something else. But I agree with Grace, that's the chain of command. It's like you're in the military, you're in the police force, you're in something. All right. You went behind Borka. You supported him. And if you feel that he doesn't have the intuition to make the right decision, then that's your problem. So let me just address one other issue here. Like I said, with Dr. Peabody. When people like us come out and say, we don't think that this person is good for Liberia or that other person is good, as we have been saying, and we've been right all the time so far, it's not personal. It ain't like we don't like George Weah, or we don't like Joseph Boakai, or we don't like, and some of you people, that's all your thing, that when people make a comment, we're all understanding where they're coming from. All right? The Central Fox was the CEO of Coca-Cola in America. He resigned and he became president of Mexico. Mexico suffered one of the worst economic crises known. So for some of you who don't even know corporate America, Cyril Ramaphosa is a businessman, very successful, one of the most successful and richest person in South Africa. Look at South Africa today. Okay? On the verge of collapse. So I don't know how some of y'all come up with the conclusion that because somebody is this, so that means this will come up. That's the same conclusion y'all came up years ago. What I'm saying, and I will address this question because when you say these things on the media, and then the
30
people
seconds,
go
brother.
vote for somebody, just 30 seconds, and the people go vote for the person, then you come by and say, oh, that the Liberian people voted for them because you're parading things on the media that are not true. Ellis Cummings had the opportunity from 2017. He ran a political party. He invested millions in Liberia in his campaign. He failed miserably. That's what I'm going by. He could not even conduct his own party. $60,000. You can't even manage it in your own party. You don't have check and balances. You taking money like they're doing it in Liberia. And then you telling me that because he worked for corporate America, there are a lot of failures. There are a lot of people who are CEO in America that begin here as a corporation. They were bad and terrible. Governor, Michigan governor with the water crisis. Was he not a CEO, a very successful CEO? So let's talk logic. Tell me why I should support or promote someone who ran a political party no different than how the rest of the other people ran a political party, with the same who know you, attack everybody because they don't disagree with you, buy newspapers. Then you're telling me that that same person now has a higher moral integrity. That's where I'm coming from. It's not personal. He's a very successful person, and most Liberians are very successful people in their own rights. But when I look at the record of his leadership as a political leader, it's one of the worst in Liberian history. Even his own chief of staff, all right, his own staff, his former chief of staff went and joined the opposition of whom he criticized, wrote letter about. His own executive committee went and supported his opponent. How can you then tell me that this man is suited to lead? He's not suited to lead, and you start lying to the Liberian people. We got many other people, and we should promote them.
Okay,
So,
we want to say again, we to on the issue of the AFL Sayers that Bobby Mane, we are really concerned about his allegation. I mean, it's a story that he shot himself 6 times. Most people find it hard to believe, but like I said, all the weekend we're trying to find out what happened. And one of the stories I heard, I was like, I think I only put it in our chat room, but I can't talk it publicly because we still got to find out, do a due diligence and investigate and dig deeper on it, because it's that kind of story can tell you the Liberia is in trouble. We're in serious trouble in our country, and we all should try our best. Any contact you got, try to call that contact to find out what the hearing about this man's death. It could be one of our brother, our sister, our somebody relative, So let us pursue it. And as before I go to Lofa to end this conversation, before Robert, you 30 seconds. Yeah, let me just say, yeah, it's true. But you said the guy just got elected. No, he was re-elected. Nayib Bukele from El Salvador, and also had the first woman president in Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum. She was elected in Mexico. But Robert, you can chime in.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, Alex. I like Alex. He's a free thinker, and he says what's on his mind. But I think it's unfair, though, right? To assume that because there have been other businessmen who have not done so well at that level of the presidency or in politics, somehow means that Alex Cummings would not do well. I don't think it works that way, right?
And look at his political leadership.
Franklin D. Roosevelt, assumed the presidency when the U.S. was in a Great Depression. He was not a politician, and in fact, there were Americans at the time who were not used to businessmen and successful millionaires, multimillionaires, taking office. But what did he do? He regained and gave the American people hope. When the American people are losing 20,000, 25,000 jobs a month, he came back and he got the U.S. out of the Great Depression. He was a businessman. When Barack Obama took over as a community organizer, he was the least experienced, and a black man from Chicago for that matter, right? He had not worked as a lawyer, which was his profession, for that long. He had not worked. He was just a second year senator, for that matter. And there were lots of questions about his experience, especially the foreign policy and the economy. And guess what? The U.S. was in a recession. What did he do? He resuscitated the economy. And he made the economy to get back to where it was. People were purchasing homes at a lower rate. Gas price had gone down $1.50. And so I think you have to make the assessment on a case-to-case basis, right? I think for anyone to assert that Alex Cummings will be bad for our country, I think it's unfair to him, right? And if we're going to make the argument about the people he's been surrounded with, and I had that question, right, about what change looks like. But many of us have said, yeah, that you cannot lead a country without mixing up with some people who've had tinted record or who've had stories out there and things like that. I think these conversations are very important. But I think to constantly conclude that Alex Cummings, a man who succeeded in a foreign country as not just a black man, but an African man at the level that he did to become a multi-millionaire. Look, he made $6.7 million just in 2009. It's not an easy fit. It's not an easy thing to do.
So it means that you should be based on that, bro?
It was based on merit. What I'm saying here is this, right? This is the mindset of us underestimating and undermining qualified Liberians, right? While we continue to embrace questionable characters and people who have been given the opportunity and have proved,
questionable character.
let me land, and have proved not to be successful. So again, I just think it's unfair to say that because he comes from a business background, somehow he would not be a successful president, because there are thousands of folks who have succeeded that were businessmen and women. On the just 10 seconds on the AFL thing. Look, we have not heard anything from the government, Tomalin, right? It's been more than how many days now? There have not been a press conference heard. And I hate to say what Ben always said. This news again seems to be a Monday night, and we'll be discussing something different. And I'm glad that we have not, we've gone back and we talked about this. And I think we should continue to talk about it until someone come out and say, look, here are the facts and here are the details. I think that young man was murdered. I would not be surprised if this is an internal play, an internal thing at play here. The story doesn't make any sense. And the fact that these people have not spoken to the Liberian people yet raises a lot of question. And it also speaks to where we find ourselves, right? You're doing the same thing you criticize, because they talk about George, we are not having press conferences. They talk about all of these things, and we are saying the same thing. So I hope people come out. And guess what? Don't be afraid to come out. Come out. Don't be afraid. We will support you. We will protect you. Don't be afraid to come out. We need some information. But Alex, it's unfair, man. You can't treat comments like that.
Yeah. So
I think you missed my whole point.
As you said, we'll continue to dig deeper about this guy. I mean, it's not because he's not one of the high-profile person, but I think we are on our obligations, to really dig deeper for this man passing. It's about time that we stop allowing mysterious death to take place, and then we just talk about it and let it go. We should find out what happened. And for me, I sorry, let me tell you something. I want to be a journalist when I come here, but then when they killed Charles Boyan, I was all of that thing. When Charles Boyan died, I said, no, I'm done. They got away they killed that guy, my favorite guy. So I left journalism. But you guys who are journalists, I respect y'all. It's good to dig deeper, find out from these guys. And one thing, when you're on a platform, I'm telling you, I can encourage everybody. Take the phone, get a number, call these people. Call them. Tell them you on a platform, they will definitely answer you. They will say, oh, okay. They will talk to you. Because they know that you have a platform, you can talk. So don't be afraid, they will talk to you. That's why when I hear story, I try to get everybody's side of the story before we come public with it. So I encourage us to really do our best. Let's find out about this man, Bobby Manning's death. Let's find out. I won't rest tomorrow that I talked to Geraldine George, defense minister. Yesterday, the president recognized her in South Korea. She was very honored. That's good. I'm happy that they're all there, bringing the dividends to our country. But let us dig beyond Bobby Manning's death. He was one of us too. Not because he's now a high-profile person, we should let him go. But Lofa, take us on this topic, then we can go to the last one, the president's visit to South Korea.
Thank you, Sintamlin. Let me say this. I think one of our now famous politicians said this, quoting another person. If we consistently do the same thing and expect different result, then we are not.
Are you scared of Kokumi's name? We got it, man. Hold
on 1 second. Tamale, don't do that. Tamale, don't do that, man. You see, Alex, look, let me tell you something, right?
Many, man.
Let me
The
tell you- no,
quotation
let me
is
tell you
Albert
something.
Einstein.
No.
When you
Let-
quote other
that's
people,
the
you gotta
reason
give them
why-
the
no.
credit.
Like Alex, let me
It's
land.
called
Let me land.
academic fraud.
Alex, let me land. And that's why I said one of our famous politicians quoted this statement. If you are claiming to be intelligent, you will understand quotation, right?
Only resource.
Quoted. He quoted that. Now, let me get to the point here. What I'm trying to get at here is this. You know the reason why we consistently carry on these behaviors of not being consistent with what we are supposed to buy into? It's like when the like of Alex Jones, they self-proclaim want to be a politician or serve as a president, comes on a platform where we are discussing sensitive issues such as the death of a man who sacrificed his time. Not only did he serve Liberia, but this man served Liberia in another country. And his life actually, some would say, was taken away. And then when we are supposed to highlight this and amplify the message for his family, you deviate the topic purposely because you think it favors you. That is the idea of being consistently in the dark and expecting to see beyond yourself. This is why we are telling you it's easy. It is as easy as bread and butter. Address the issue on the discussion so that our people can be enlightened to the reality on ground. It is not that complicated, Alex. We are talking about the death of one of our brothers. He may not be biologically related to you, but let us be sensitive to the fact that his family is grieving tonight. The fact that you will ignore that reality and think that you can politicize this and don't take into consideration that family and friends of this young man is grieving when, of course, he's not the first person. There was a young man who we were told shot himself somewhere in Nima County during the CDC government. We talked about it for what, 2 or 3 days, and it was ignored. Several other Liberians died, and we did not do due diligence to amplify the message for them. For some of their family, they are not opportune to sit on these platforms where people are heard around the country and possibly around the world, so that they could be heard and so that the message can resonate with other people. So when you're opportune to contribute to such conversation, be sensitive enough and take into consideration the reason why others will appreciate your presence. If you were to just add to the words or voices of others to make their voices heard. It's just that fair. The time of campaigning will come. And when you are qualified, or if you are qualified, we will help you to expose yourself. But until then, let us focus on the issue under discussion and let us address the concern of the people. The plaque of the people is the little things that you continue to ignore. The little things such as our Mason brothers and sisters in Liberia, the rape victims, now the dead soldier who served you in Mali. You're not taking that into consideration. You think this is an opportunity to make joke or probably sell yourself as a politician? Sorry, bro, don't do that. Let us focus on how we can do
Respond to it, Mr.
I
Julius,
give
please.
my
Just
2 minutes
one
to
second.
Alex. I give my 2
Thank you.
minutes to Alex.
All right.
Alex, you don't respond to
You know
this.
what? I
don't
think that
that's
was
what
Lofa
Alex was
Julius.
trying to put out there. This is wrong. Go
No,
ahead,
but-
Alex.
Right.
No,
But what is wrong about it?
Let me hear
Alex,
that.
get
Because I
30
think,
seconds. We're going our last topic. Alex,
right,
so
yeah,
just,
Grace, give
Cheryl,
him 2 minutes.
I just
Alex.
need to
Come on,
clarify
that's all.
Yeah,
something
give my 2
because,
minutes to Alex.
no, but
yeah, I
it's
do
not
need to clarify
our
something.
time, you know.
My 2 minutes on that guy. Give my 2
You
minutes.
know,
Well, she
on
told me to
time,
take her time.
or 2 minutes, you know, on
So-
the issue, that.
No,
Listen,
she
I was
wants to get
saying that.
another 2 minutes.
Oh,
You
my
already
2
went.
minutes on that issue.
Yes,
Okay,
you
so
went
let me
already.
respond here. Let me
Yeah.
respond about this AFL soldier thing, all right?
Yeah, but-
Unlike
Let me progress now.
let me address it.
Yeah,
Unlike
don't
some of
do
the
that.
people
Where you
there who
came
can
from?
just talk, Alex Jones just don't talk. All right. I just told you guys that I have agreed to become an editor of a paper in Liberia. Okay. I spent over 2 hours today, all right, investigating talking with several individuals, and I'm about to put a paper. The only reason I haven't published that paper because people are telling me to hold up until the investigation because it's so bad, it's so terrible that they're saying just wait to get the investigation. In fact, they report on the AFL wives that the president said, all right, they were doing a inquiry. They did the inquiry. The public still does not know the result of it.
There you go.
So,
now we're talking, Alex. Now you got my support.
No. But you see, the thing about it is,
now
the thing about it, the thing about it is that I just don't talk. When there was a rice problem in the country, I came up with solution, and I publish it. Okay, I publish it.
No, but why
No. I send it to you, Tommy. It was published in a Liberian newspaper. That's why you're paying. Your people there are paying. You want to tell me that's not an important thing? How we can grow? Yeah, but that's why you guys that are sending it to the local Julius says you can read and see sense in something to help promote it.
We're talking here. Yeah, we're really
okay. So Lofa, for your information, all less comments that just sit down in America, it disappear. I'm here fighting for the people. I fought for rape victims. I fight for the downtrodden. All right. That just sit down with you sit down in a penthouse. I'm for the front line for the people, and I'm well known for that. And I will fight for this officer. And I will make sure the facts comes out. I can promise Liberian people that I want.
Now,
right?
the president of Liberia is in Seoul, South Korea for the South Korea African Summit.
I'm going to make a quick comment though. You can
okay.
For the next topic, but just give me a minute. Let me make a quick comment. And actually, because I think Ellis Jones, I want to debunk his theory here. Robert Gagwa actually attempted to do justice to that. I listened to Robert to try to draw a correlation between the fate of all our businesses and Alexander Cummings. I'm not Cummings, man. Everybody knows. I think it's unnecessary.
It's not busy.
1 minute. I come in.
Lofa.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Lofa, there's a guy called Patterson David. Please check on him. He wrote some comments that are inappropriate. Please check on him. Patterson David. Go ahead, Congress.
To draw a correlation between the failure of all of businesses and Alexander Cummings, human behavior.
Guys, please mute yourselves. If you're not talking, there's a lot of stuff in the back.
Me?
Everybody.
There's nothing. Okay,
go ahead, Colabo. Go ahead.
It's not something like you can collect data points. I'm going to extrapolate this because Alex Jones is a businessman and he behaves in this, in the sort of condition. If you want to predict, you must give them the same environment, the same condition, and give them the same capacity. I mean, everything is same. If they perform dismally, you say yes. And those people perform in different economies, in different administrative regime. So you can't extrapolate that. You can project that and say this will happen maybe in a fragile nation like Liberia. Maybe Alex should do better there. Maybe, okay? He might even recreate the environment and do better there. We don't know. And I'm not his man, and everybody knows that. But I think that was unfair. But I want to... Alex,
people are saying he will do better.
We'll move to the last topic. Let me just debunk you
really
try to mislead the public on El Salvador. And I want to read just a few lines here. Tomlin, please give me. Let me read it. There's a report from the Freedom House on El Salvador. The reason I'm taking, because on this show, I have argued with Grace brought the issue of age and Alex. El Salvador was one of my discussion points.
Can I put you
as a white young man? He's leading the country. See what a human rights here. Corruption, including investment, money laundering, and all forms of self-enrichment remains public in government. And anti-corruption violence and prosecutions have been systematically dismantled since 2020. In 2021, the government shut down the International Commission Against Impunity in El Salvador. And it's in the other paragraph, it says, under the state of emergency, because he declares state of emergency. In fact, he dissolved parliament and assumed more authority This guy is an authoritarian, and this is a guy. He's a young man. I agree, he's a young man. But look at his rule, his misrule in our country.
And I Ellis role model.
As Ellis role model. Look there.
But all the thing you read, you didn't read that the economy is doing well, poverty is being reduced, crime is being reduced. You didn't read that one too?
He took out clips on
For travel honor you.
Oh, yeah, so you read all the positive things for the freedom.
Let me see. Let me read the portion here.
Did I say the man was perfect?
Alex, in fact, I'm going to put this report in the chat room. I'll put this in the chat room. Now your thing about age is not theoretical or grand, because there are so many data points we can punch to show that it's not a linear relationship to say if once you're young you perform good. No, it's not. It's not.
You from Fox News, my brother.
It's not.
I mean, Fox News. Can be from Fox News.
It's not about that, Grace.
You can't come here and continue, because we know that you know people. I really like you, Caleb, but we understand that you're fighting for your brother. We're fighting for life.
Chris, how we gonna do that?
We're not.
Chris, let's not do that. So are you fighting? Are you fighting for Clarence? Chris, are you fighting for Clarence? No, Chris, let the man learn. Chris, don't do that. Are you fighting for Clarence?
To the man.
Okay.
I'll wave my time.
Don't do that.
Let me progress. Let me progress. Okay, guys.
I get it, man. I get it, man.
Our last topic.
We are
Okay?
making progress. We are making progress.
Last
I'll
topic.
wave my time, brother.
Listen,
last topic.
On the 42-year-old man, let's read El Salvador.
The last topic. Okay, look. Our president, the president of Liberia, is president in South Korea. He arrived in that country with a high-powered delegation, including 2 lawmakers. You know, back in the day when President Do was president, he used to travel with lawmakers. But I think President Salish, I think she did it. I don't know what. I think she did it once, but I didn't see President We are carrying lawmakers with him. But what guy brought it back again. That's good though. To carry 2 lawmakers, one from the Senate, one from the House. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Darius Dillon, and the House Tai Wong-wei, they are in South Korea. Now they were for the South Korea African Summit. Now there have been a lot of debates going on social media. Why the president of South Korea met with 13 African leaders, but I saw a picture that President Boga did meet with the South Korean president.
Let me start on that one, please.
I come in, yeah, you start. I come in. He did meet with the South Korean president. He was accorded the appropriate honor guard. He received the presidential treatment of a president visiting the South Korea. But they said there was a meeting they had with 10 heads of state. And my thing is that I got to find out why they didn't include our president in that meeting, because I believe that he should be in that meeting, and we'll protest about it. We'll make our position clear. I'm not joking. I'm serious about it.
Who you protesting?
I'm coming. We'll make our position clear. South Korea, you cannot invite our president over there. You want be picking and choosing, be deciding people. No, it's not fair.
Maybe
I'm coming.
The reserve special spot for him.
Yeah, but I think, but because I'm sure at the end of the day, President Boga will meet with the South Korean president. It will sign a communique and so forth. We look forward to that. But last night had a very good program. I watched the program live, where I think it was some investment program they had. And after that, they interviewed the National Investment Commission Chairman, Arnold Augustine Blibo, and the new tourism ambassador, Christopher Onanega. Yeah, they interviewed them. And from what I learned, they're expecting to carry a lot of the dividends from the trip will be very huge for Liberia. We expect to see millions of dollars pouring to Liberia for opportunities. And so we look forward to seeing it. Because, again, let's see what happens. But I want Robert, we'll start with Robert, 2 minutes. Share your thoughts on the president's trip to South Korea and tell us what have you heard so far? What will come from all this trip?
So Tomalin, wow. Look, you remember when President Weah took the trip to DC? I think it was at the end of his trip when he met the president of the United States, President Joseph Boakai, on his side of that event, and he posted a picture. Yeah, you're muted. He posted a picture like this.
Yeah, Joe Biden. Yeah.
Joe Biden, yeah, Joe Biden. He posted a picture like this. And some of my Unity Party friends, I actually called some of them today. And they said, man, you give me a hard time, you leave her alone. You would think that these people, look, you know what they did? This was deception. They said President Bouaka met the president of South Korea and wife, blah, 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 blah. And they presented the picture as if this was a private meeting. This is deception. This was not a private meeting. They posted on the executive mansion website that the president was going to meet with the South Korean president. It was they were all lies, because the protocol of this event is public record. They outline everything. Of the 48 nations, there are 25 that will be led by heads of states. Joseph Bouaka was amongst those. And of the 25, the president of South Korea was only scheduled to meet with 4 leaders. The president of Sierra Leone, I think the president of Tanzania, and there are the 2 other. Liberia was not on the list. So the fact that these guys will post a picture and to make believe that the president had an official meeting, everyone got a red carpet in South Korea today. And the South Koreans are doing this for a reason. They want to compete with the US. They want to compete with China. This is the reason why this is the first summit. Every leader got a red carpet, including the foreign ministers, those who are representing their state. And so this whole talk about the president should be meeting officially with his South Korea counterpart. The fact that this is not the case is a disgrace to our country. And I see these guys running around talking about dignity has returned to Liberia. What are they talking about? Dignity has returned to Liberia? Every leader that traveled, including President Weah, they met with leaders on the sidelines. This is a sideline. The president of Ghana was there. All of the other leaders were there. They were shaking hands, taking pictures with the South Korean leader and his wife. And so why are they misleading the people? This government is struggling to gain international audience. And it's becoming very sad that the president of Kenya is giving red carpet and the US is investing billions of dollars in investment. And our president comes to America and meet with airport managers, and he goes to South Korea. After flying 18 hours to South Korea, he goes and takes picture with the South Korean leader on the sideline. They're making it seem like he met with the South Korean president. Look at the business meeting, Tomalin. Look at the faces at that meeting. Look at the faces of that meeting. $100 million? Oh, may God bless our country. I want them to return with $100 million, Tomalin. I will be very glad. But what is there to show that they are returning with $100 million? I don't think the president should have made this trip. I'm to be honest with you. Look at the delegates. We don't know yet how much this is going to cost the country. They already spent millions of dollars just a month ago in the US. We still have not received any return on investment. This is the second trip. We don't know what's in it for Liberia. And it's valid to ask these questions. What is in it for Liberia? As opposed to just having a foreign minister and 2 other people go and taking a fort and taking all of these folks, and all these guys are getting per dime on the backs of Liberians. And guess what? Let me close on this note. This very government could not support these young girls. Lone Star is playing. The under 17 young girls are playing on the 9th. They said they had no money. The under 20 girls went to Senegal. You know what these guys did, Tomalin? They gave these guys $100 each for a whole tournament. And those girls rejected the $100. They said government did not have money. Yet it's still they're getting thousands of dollars on per dime. Why you think the lying Dylan is on this trip? You think he just want to wear business class? He's fascinated about business class. It's clear, but his pockets are being filled as well. Look, this is embarrassing, and I wait to see the day that this government gain traction when it comes to our foreign policy and the respect. Every time they talk about, dignity has returned to Liberia, I want to ask them, what are you talking about? because you took picture with the South Korean president on the sideline? Is that dignity?
But
You should be meeting with him.
according to the South Korea Times, they said in the lead to the summit, President Yoon had a string of bilateral meetings with around 10 African leaders on Monday. I think we're there, including those from Lesotho, Ivory Coast, Zimbabwe, Togo, Rwanda, Mozambique, Sao Tome and Principe, Guinea-Bissau, and Cape Verde at the presidential office. But what Liberian there? Okay, that's really I come in. Later in the day, Yoon had a reception and welcome banquet. Among the 25 leaders attended the summit, 4 of them, Sierra Leone's Julius Maada Bio, Tanzania President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Ethiopian President Abiy Ahmed Ali, and the Mauritanian President are in the sole official visit.
Yes.
But then the Korean president will held individual summit with the Sierra Leonean leader on Friday, and with the Ethiopian and Tanzanian leaders on Sunday.
Yes.
He saw the meeting Mauritanian leader on Wednesday. Look, let me frank.
That's it.
I'm not joking. We demand that it may be.
I'm not joking.
Stop making mockery of us.
No, I mean mockery. About this.
We Liberian must be.
What is the independent Republic of Africa? Why are you talking so?
What protest where? For what?
We demand that it have be between our president. Why are you talking so?
I will
call the guys that
our country is a very corrupt nation. Our leaders are incompetent. So look at Julius Maada Bio. Maada Bio is taking a bold stand. Maada Bio just issued a press statement that, in fact, Maada Bio is about, they are talking about what building nuclear plant now in Sierra Leone. That look, they are not going to fight any war for Western nation. If they have issue with Russia, if they have issue with any other country, it's not Sierra Leone issue. Sierra Leone issue is they need energy and they're going to build nuclear station, nuclear power station, and Russia is going to do that, right?
Thank you.
Maada Bio is doing that. Liberia has always been a puppet nation. By from Tomna time up to this point. Tomna broke down the OAU. When Dr. Nkrumah and others were saying, look, let's have a united front and have a powerhouse in Africa. The CIA used Liberia to break down that unity. So Liberia has always been a puppet nation, and no reason why serious country don't take Liberia serious.
And y'all who are there did nothing about it.
No, say like what now?
Our time will have to teach things. Thank you.
Great. As self-government, I was assistant minister for research and statistics. As self-government, but I was not even deputy minister nor a minister. Your political leader was Minister of State. He sat next to President Salih.
We talking about
what did education under Dr. Modiba, under Dr. Modiba and Ellen Johnson Salih, education became mess, healthcare became mess, homosexuality increased in the country. You know that.
We can't continue to
why increasing in the country?
With Dr. Modiba and Salih,
why increasing in the country?
Became mess, education became mess. Homosexuality increased in the country.
And you know that. Anything to transform. You were there.
My brother disagreed with Salih and left the government.
He transformed everything he did.
But when Modiba was there, my brother was not even there. When my brother said the country was going the wrong direction, that's when Modiba went there.
He was begging if you support them to ready for him. I will play the recording. You play with me.
So Grace, you don't run campaign as an individual, okay? You run campaign as a collective.
But if you have a vision for a country, you don't even know how to put your own policy together. Then we question
leaders do not sit around table to write everything. You make a type and say, people out and read.
You don't have a vision. You say because you are poor man, president.
I can show you so many drafts. I can show you so many drafts from Casablanca that he circulated.
Tama, you gonna let us just listen to these two going back and forth?
No, I'm trying to monitor. I'm hearing.
We need innovative minds.
Your leader was still government when homosexuality increased.
We need to retire our older people. Come 2029 Liberians. Do not vote anybody over 70 in the office.
Look at that. Okay, we'll go for the El Salvador president.
We will put you into retirement by force.
We'll bring the El Salvador president.
Oh, you see
Send
what
a
happening?
layer one.
And Tanzania said they will borrow 2.5 billion over the next 5 years from South Korea through concessional loans. Why Ethiopia
You
signed?
got a South or Tanzania, you come in?
I come in now. Ethiopia signed 1 billion financing deal over 4 years. We got our own quick. We got our own from that.
He can't even meet one-on-one. That 100
What
million
happened?
deal was
We'll
signed. I
see.
beg you, man.
We are
let's
hearing
go.
we are
So
hearing
that's
the
it. So can I-
government. We are hearing the government is expected to attract 100 million. We hope so.
They put on a
Because
bill. They put on a bill.
yeah, that's what we're hearing. In fact, I'm hearing that Christopher Onanuka
Agreement is one thing.
officially announced that on his
Implementation
Facebook
is
page.
different thing.
I want to check that on myself
Go check
and see
the
whether he
record.
actually
You know-
said that,
you know-
that the government will
Oh,
Go to
attract
the
around
business
$100
talking,
million.
man.
I want to
Okay.
see that happen.
Hey,
But
hey,
also,
Somebody, is it my turn? Somebody, is it my turn?
That Grace Town. That Grace
Somebody,
Town.
is it my turn? Hold on. How we going?
Also
Are we going this
you
way
know,
or
I
this
gotta
way?
go to bed now, please.
Yeah, that Grace.
I gotta go to bed.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay, so
Go
guys,
bed.
you gotta go to bed. I'll talk when you
Let's
finish.
talk.
Yeah,
talk.
please, I gotta go to lay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me you 2
So-
minutes so you can go sleep.
yeah, no problem. Let me take my 2 minutes. But the thing is,
in like bro.
yeah, heavy. The thing is, look, it was not also right. I think I agree with Mr. Gonglo, or I think Robert said it, that it was not necessary for the president to even go on the trip.
No, I disagree, man. But anyway, finish.
It was not even necessary. That country is currently even at security risks. If you're following the news from there, you will realize that North Korea is sending balloons to that country, and it's serious, bro. It is very serious. So you take the woman and put it on a 30-hour trip, to a place where we're not even sure that we raise money from. We just came from America. We carry all those amount of people to America. We raise nothing. We're going back to South Korea. In fact, I'm hearing the delegation size is over 30 persons. And the executive mansion, is misleading the public nowadays. The executive mansion will announce only 5 names, 6 names to the public.
Lofa,
And
we continue to show you. I have to take this call.
announce only 5 names to the public. And then the rest of the people will go beyond, the regular names. I think that's what they're doing. I think if people are making the personal staff of the president or whatever, they are making the official delegation of the president, there should be an open government. There is no reason why the executive mansion will be announcing only 5 or 6 names to the public and say the other people then that staff of the president, and so we can name them. And then at the end of the day,
Alex, let me ask you a quick question. Can I ask you a quick question? Is there a South Korea? Is there a South Korea in Grand Bassa County? Because the call Tamale just received from Grand Bassa County said South Korea. I'm just
I know that one. I know. But it's very serious, and I think they must be able to open the government out to the public. They can be traveling, and all these things can lead to speculation. In fact, someone posted today, we're talking about 49 persons. Some people saying 30 persons. The government must be open to the public. If you are carrying 30% delegation, announce it so that we all can know. And the whole thing here about everybody who traveling now using business class here and there is very terrible. It's very terrible. We all frown on their private jet and their business class. We are returned now to private jet and business class. All right. The other day, my friend Mo Ali was going right at Ghana for 3 days in EU business class. It has to stop. Thank you very much.
Oh, which airline? Which airline?
Eh?
Which airline?
I think at Kenya Airways. I will check it. After they met this after they met this for 55,000, the men wrote business class straight.
all right. Let's hear from Grace. I think Grace was next, right? So let's hear from Grace.
Yeah, I'll just say that the summit is supposed to be held for a dialogue, for partnership, collaboration, and what the presidents can bring together to actually boom the economy of Africa. So I think it was right for President Parker to go now. Was it right for him to take all those people, right? Business guys? I don't think so. I think that it's a waste of the country's money, and with everything that's going on, that things are high in the country, he shouldn't have done that. But I think him making the trip, it will help him to, make getting partnership with other African leaders to help Liberia in some other way, and he had to be a part of that. they couldn't remove Liberia. You know, if the people calling names of all the countries that went there, at least Liberia would be on there. Now, his foreign minister was supposed to go and make sure that she was supposed to lay, you know, make sure she get, you know, meet people that would be able to help the president, and make sure she set up meetings with, you know, top-notch people for the president to be able to meet these people to put full Liberia issues and what they want to do for the country. So if they don't have that part, then, you know, then she did not do her job. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it was good for the president to go, and I hope that he brings something back to Liberia, you know, from this. Not so much in terms of monetary aspect, but in terms of, you know, collaboration and partnership for the country. Yeah, I would give Alex my other 1 minute.
You didn't have one.
Thank you,
Oh,
Jay.
I mean,
All right. So listen, and I hate the fact that I have
Got
to
his
agree with
2 minutes.
you, because we tend to, every time we don't like somebody or they do something, even if they do something right, then we just criticize them. I don't think anything is wrong with the president going on a trip. The president is the face of the country. That's part of his job. He's the chief diplomat, and not every trip you go on is to bring money back. This is a conference that is held. Uh, you know, you get acquaintances, you meet, you know, you get an opportunity to talk with other leaders in one place, so you don't have to travel to 40 other countries. So, you know, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with government officials traveling on business class. I mean, it's a long flight. If they were doing what they were doing to improve the system, I don't even care if they travel private jet. But you cannot have a country where it's failing economically. You don't have the rice price going up. The soldiers' wives don't have, they have a lot of grievances, you know, and a myriad of issues. Okay. Then you know, that's the problem. They are not solving now one problem. They're not even discussing the problem. Everything that happens in the country, they got to set a committee. So what's the point of coming into leadership after 40 years when you're going to still go ask other people to tell you what you need to do? You're supposed to come with a plan. So that's the issue I have with, you know, that's the main thing that most of the leaders, Kelebu here talking about, you know, Sierra Leone president, another young man. All the people that you see who are doing the British president, now young man. Even when Paul Kagame took office, he was a young man. He was not an old man. What we're saying here is that not his age alone. Because let me tell you this, right? I don't agree with all the young people. Like Todd Wangwe is another, in my opinion, another useless Liberian young man. Okay, where he got into power, preaching change. He got into power, talking for the people. As soon as he gets there, he jump behind for corrupt political Kofa. That's what we're talking about. So unless some of y'all who, because I don't think that all young people are good. I look at your record. I look at what you stand for. So if Todd Wangwe goes there, whether he can be 30-year-old, and
Right,
I don't
else
see him
come
pushing
with
the agenda or holding the government accountable, and he joined the corrupt politicians, then why should I align myself with him? And if Prince Johnson, who is one of the vilified person in Liberia, if he's doing something good, he's pushing a bill that will help mothers or the children or school, then I've looked at the action. And that's where it's hard for some of you. It's hard for you to, you know, shift when you put loyalty behind somebody. It's 100% for them what they're doing wrong. Okay, that's the difference. I'm not against all those who work in government officials. Work in government. What I'm seeing, if you work in government and you come out of government with a good record and there's no scandal on you, we got all the newspaper. I don't have a problem with it. Like Kelebu, yourself, a government official. Did I ever one day come and criticize you for the work you did? No. So you stop this thing, because I'm very clear to the point where I constantly try to let you guys know I go by record. And lastly, I would say, my friend Robert, you're one of the brightest young Liberian, you know, public figure and journalist, and I agree with you 80% of the time. Okay, but I think you have to understand when, you know, I think the idea that you don't get the person point and you don't ask them what they're saying. Nobody is saying here that a business person cannot be a good president. Okay, I never said that. The only thing I said is how, and it was Cummings who even said it, your past performance will determine your future. It's a predictive of your future outcome. So if you ran a political party, right? You ran your organization, and there's all kinds of inefficiency, all kinds of problem. It tells me, it don't take away from your business thing, but it tells me that your political, your compass, that's maybe something not suited for you. But I never said a general can leave in the army and be very good and become president and be very bad. So let's get it clear. And they're not against Alex Cummings, except for the way he conducted himself and the things that he stood up for. And I'm not seeing it. There are people in ANC all the time who call me and tell me they are not happy with the result. They're not happy with leadership. So what I'm saying is pass it on to somebody else because you didn't do a good job as a political leader. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
thank
Alex, you thought you spoke enough on the
All right.
two are not the same.
Yeah,
Managing political party and leading a country are not the same. Because when you manage a political party, you're trying to attract people to the party. When you lead in government,
Kolibo, you won't let me talk to Kolibo.
When you will be straight, you will be straight. No matter what
you still don't get it.
When you will be straight, you will be straight. No matter what you be. It's not different. There's nothing different there.
Are you done, Grace?
Yes, sir.
I promise I'm not going to say Moneyboy's name. I promise you. But in all reality, I'm going to speak about the president's trip. Personally, I believe in few things. I hang around a lot of folks that are in the finance world, and one of them often stand out. Okay. When we're having conversations about anything, and they will often say to you, what is the return? I know y'all, there's an acronym, I know, your return on investment, ROI. He says that all the time. Like, and I often make a joke about it. I'm like, okay, this return on investment is not everything in your life. You will get something in return. But he said that is the reason why you should invest. In this case, President Boycott is traveling out of the country. We are not simply looking at his presence out of the country. He served as a vice president for 12 consecutive years. Okay? 6 years, we claim that we were static, no development, no growth. And here we are today. So if you're traveling, I don't just simply want you to travel for photo ops. What are you bringing back? What is daddy bringing back in his bag? Is what every Liberian here will be asking, regardless of your political affiliation. You want to know the trip that was taken out. Remember, we are investing. This is not free. There's a huge amount of money that we are investing in this trip. So what do we get in return? That's what I'm more concerned about. He can sit and take pictures with Darius DeLone. But this is where it becomes a little bit catchy and disrespectful to the people you represent, okay? When daddy can afford to drive a BMW, a Mercedes, or go out there and drinking every time, can afford to have all of these luxurious parties, but his kids cannot afford to eat, that is disrespectful to his kids. So if you're going to be flying first class and Liberian kids cannot afford quality education, they cannot afford quality health care, then it becomes concerning to the rest of the public to say, hold on, you flying first class and you're telling us it's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for you to invest in the growth and the better society, but it's okay for you to fly first class and take pictures and then post them on Facebook. To do what?
But Lofa, why are you going with the first class thing? The thing is a culture. Even when that your Moneybag work with Selim Johnson Selly, you were flying first class, education was still a mess. Healthcare was still a mess. He didn't do anything about that. He didn't say
what I'm trying to.
Do you have any record?
I'm not speaking, and that's the reason why.
I have evidence that
Kolibo, what I'm saying here, if you guys would just let me, can I have 30 seconds? Can I have 30 seconds to land, please? Can I have 30 seconds to land, please?
Well, let the man land, my people.
So, in closing, what I'm trying to say here is, I don't care where you travel to, how you travel there. All I care about is when you return, let us know what you're bringing back home and how it's going to impact our society. Like the recent trip to the United States, what did they bring back for us? Where we see government officials who can travel out of the country freely. Like, what's his name? Fanati Kofa. He's out here celebrating his son's graduation, and other government officials, they will come here freely, willingly to celebrate their kids. But they will not invest in quality education in Liberia for our brothers and sisters to be able to compete with the kids who are graduating from here, who are going back home. And this is where this us versus them narrative come in, because the kids back home feel intimidated to some extent because they are not acquiring the quality education that is needed. And this is where I frown at their travel in and out of the country, and Darius Dillon taking pictures to flaunt in our faces. I'll stop at that point, and I guess we'll bring Robert in next, and then Kolibo, then Grace, so we can close up. And
Yeah, so you just somebody that, but the Unity Party people don't like what Dillon is doing. I just heard that they may not ever take him back on the trip again, because he's taking picture and posting it with people not even with no consent whatsoever.
They can't stop it, but Robert, they can't stop Dillon though. If they dare attempt to stop Dillon, they feel like Dillon's mouth is so loud, he's going to go at them, just like what's his name is going at them right now. This guy here. What's your friend name? The one who refused to publish his asset.
You talking about?
Say it, it's okay.
You talking about Senator? But Amar Corner would have been a better access to them than Dillon, because who Dillon know anyway? They don't know anyone anywhere past Broad Street or Capitol. But he posting picture with Todd. The Todd thing he won't. Todd name was not on the list. This is just now. You found out Todd is in South Korea, the president as well.
Yes,
his name wasn't on the list. So you can't just be taking picture with people on the kind of event and you start sharing that picture on Facebook without that consent. If it was me,
and personally, I think the picture he took of the president was not in the proper frame. He didn't look presidential to me at that moment. He shouldn't have posted that picture really.
Yeah, but
you're flying long flight at times. It affects your physique, your appearance, and what have you.
Yeah,
this is the president of a nation. You don't just take the president picture and post it anywhere. No.
Yeah, but let me say though, I
think you're all right.
I personally, Alex, I think that government officials, that there are perks that comes with being in a public figure, and I think that there's nothing wrong with them using those, right? But what we are pointing out here is the hypocrisy here, right? Because these folks vehemently, fiercely criticize George Weah and his folks for doing similar things, specifically Darius Dillon, when he said, and I quote, "You can't be flying around the world on private jet and business class while Liberians are hungry in the streets and no jobs." And so how do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile? This is my issue. If I come here and I'm not in your position, but you're flying representing our country, and I criticize you for flying, or you're not supposed to fly private jet because people are hungry, or you're not supposed to fly business class and flaunt it on social media because people don't have good education. And then 3 months after I took over you, I'm doing the very same thing that I criticized you about. This is the reason why he did not want the world to know that he was in business class, even though his urge to share that picture in business class could not resist. This is why he lied, because he knew that picture was hypocritical to his criticism at the time of the government, because the people were asking questions. Oh, are Liberians hungry now? Have they been fed now because you're flying business class? Are the education system not in the drain now because you're flying business class? This is the reason why he said, "Oh, I just went to say hey to a friend." And so this is the double standard. I believe that politics or no politics, there are certain things that we must understand and be honest about and say, look, I think this is necessary. I also believe that the president should fly nothing but business class. If the Liberian government cannot afford a private jet, I don't think the president should be flying in economy. especially for 18. I don't fly economy when I'm flying 18 hours. I don't. But I'm a private citizen. Whatever I can afford to buy, I can afford. I can post my picture. That's nobody's business. You get what I'm saying? But when you're using public funds, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. It's the hypocrisy yet. And so the next question here is, if you must fly private jet or if you must fly business class, then you must ensure that there's a return on investment. So that the Liberian people money that you spend on this trip, you must come back and say it was necessary. But if you came back with nothing and you criticize the previous government for spending Liberian people money and coming back with nothing, then how does that make you any better? I think this is the argument here. So we got to be honest with ourselves. I hope that they come back with $100 million because I want President Joseph Boakai to succeed. I really want him to succeed, even though I have no expectation of success. But I want him to succeed because if he succeeds, Liberia succeeds. We can still talk about 2029, the next election, as to why they should not be reelected. But I want him to succeed that way so that Liberia can get better. But again, at the rate that they are going, I do not see success, but I hope that they succeed. I thought it was a fascinating show. Thank you.
So let's go to we'll go to Grace and then Kolibo next. Well, Alex and then Kolibo.
No, let Kolibo go ahead.
I knew you were gonna push that off. So that at that point now,
that Kolibo go ahead.
Kolibo, you want to go? You want to go first before Grace?
I think I would just say in passing, it was a great show.
But another cut you. I'm sorry, but who Dylan know past Broad Street or Capital? Who does he know?
Great question. Maybe you should ask Yomble.
Well, I think just to answer your question, I think Dylan is the chairman for the Foreign Relations Committee, correct?
Yes.
So that's why he will be on a trip like that. So if you don't want him to go, then you should have elected him. Lofa Junior should have promoted him. But you can't give the man a position and then you can't ask why the man going on trip. You understand what I mean? If you knew this man was not capable to represent Liberia, then you should not have been promoting him on all the station, raising money for him.
But he doesn't have to be on the trip on the foreign ministry. He doesn't have to necessarily be on the trip because he's
that's his job. The foreign relations committee, because they don't want gonna if there's any agreement between the country
Alex,
and Liberia. That committee has to put it in there. That committee is the one that has to put it in. I'm trying to educate the public here.
No, but Alex, you're wrong. You don't have to be on the trip. Alex, you're wrong. Alex, that is false.
Oh, you did public
yes. You don't have to do public administration. You don't have to do public administration to understand that serving in that capacity does not necessarily mean you have to be on the trip all the time.
But that's not what I'm saying.
But this is not all the time.
Facilitate.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he has to be there.
But you're saying that you have to
because he's heading.
That's why Robert just said. That's what Robert said. He didn't have to be on it, and you said yes, he had to.
Okay. But he had on his.
Alex, I'll let you go now. I'll let you go, and then Grace and others.
No, let Kelebu go. I'll go after.
You just time to go. Then you interrupted the man when you were trying to go.
And then we interrupted
him. Then you interrupted him.
Kelebu, go get him.
We just finished, Alex.
All right.
Okay,
So
look,
yeah,
I don't
Alex,
have much to say because I think the guys in the studio they might be waiting, or have they gone home?
No, they're still there.
Yeah, so we're on the radio, Kalibu. We're on the radio across the country.
I don't want to keep them long. So I would basically say this was a great show. And I think there are more important issues that we need to begin to focus on. On the question of taking legislators on a trip, it's not a bad idea. But, I mean, this trip was not about establishing new diplomatic ties. So if this trip is about, like if you take the agriculture minister with you, I will also take the chair of the agriculture committee in both the Senate and the House on such a trip, because this is where the president's focus is. The president's agenda is not on foreign relations. The president's agenda is on rule. So take the Senate committee or the House committee on public works, So you're not trying to build new relations. No, you're looking at the development agenda. So take the legislative committees on those areas. not foreign relation, because you're not trying to establish a new. You
But
already
they are seditions. They are
No.
seditions, so they can't go. They are
Oh, I
seditions.
see the point. I see the point. Yeah. So, but there's one government. If it fails, in a collective, it fails. So, if I were advising the president, I would go with those folks, not people on the foreign relation, committee, because that's not the focus now. So to end on my close my statement here, I would say, when we say something, let us try to research some of what we say, because those of us who study mathematics, I remember in undergrad we say, if and only if. That statement is people say, but it's actually a mathematical statement. It means the forward statement, the forward side should be true and the backward side should be true. Okay, so when you come on the show and start to pinpoint maybe the pitfalls of others, be sure that what you say is clear. You cannot extrapolate certain things. Human behavior, if you want to conduct research and evaluate people on you must give them the same condition, the same resources, you must know that they have the same capacity. Then you say, start running and evaluate them on that. I just want to strike this point. And the issue of El Salvador, I put in the chat room. I want you guys to read it. That guy is an autocrat. He has damaged our country. He's 42 years old. His record is very dangerous. I am on that.
Thank you. So, Grace, Alex, any one of you guys can go next.
I will go after Kelly. But Grace, is that okay with you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, but you guys better coordinating since you endorse the mobile. Wow, I can enjoy you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can enjoy you.
How long?
Really, Robert? Really?
I know Ellis June. Ellis June, Dr. Mamba will part big time on the show. Watch it. I know this guy.
Look at that. Because I follow your brother, because I live on the corruption.
So Calebo, what you saying? When Ellis put a card to
no, Calebo. Listen, Gonglo wasn't corrupt. Let me be very clear, right? Gonglo party, that LPP party, okay, was the problem. And I advised him, and I told him, I said, you're not going anywhere with that party. And I wish today, and I became right. He didn't get 1%. So he had listened to me. Maybe he was going to get more. No, I didn't want to clear because I'm not in the business of just making comments against people, because the Gonglo, I think, is a fine man. I think he did fail as an attorney general and as a justice minister, and he did not criticize early on. Okay, so, but I think other than that, look, Kelebo, you have the right to your opinion, but not facts. Okay, everybody today is celebrating El Salvador. It's a $32 billion economy. 5 years ago, it was almost a failed state with gangs all around the place. Okay, taking over the whole entire country. What this man is doing in El Salvador, I just put a New York Times magazine call in the chat room. All right. Am I saying that he's flawless? Am I saying that, some of his decisions are not draconian? I'm not saying that. I'm not like some of the politicians some of these people who, when they follow somebody or they like somebody, they can't see any flaws. Yes, there are human rights issues, but it's undeniable that the economic success, the security success of El Salvador is being overwhelming to the point where his own population can give him 85%, and they still counting the votes. All right. Just like, any other country. Was Bill Clinton perfect? No. Was Barack Obama perfect? No. But they won second election because the economic policies and the things they did to improve at least most of the people's thing. But I will end on this. Look, my issue with the situation with this military man that was, that allegedly committed suicide. Lofa, thank you for bringing that up. And I know I'm going to go after whoever that I believe that is going to, that's a foul play. Whether you Joseph Walker or you Ellis Cummings or you Gonglo, it doesn't matter to me. I just go for the facts. And I can tell you the documentation that I have received and the people I have talked to is a very, very disturbing thing. And you're right. Those are the things which we're talking about on the show. The wives of the AFF people are going through, the scene service people, they're going through a tremendous time. I think they had 18 grievances. Only 3 of them were met. Okay. These people live like they're not even military people serving the country, while we have, offices of the speaker, $1.6 million, pro temp, $1.8 million. And the people who's supposed to protect us, their children can't even get food to go to school. All right. They don't even have electricity. That they kind of had to come and protest before they get electricity. The military men, all right, no light. So you're right. And that's why I'm getting involved in terms of the little way I know. I'm not in the position of most of the politicians, but I think I try to look for solution. And I think one of the solutions is our journalism is being is yellow journalism, is politicized. So we'd rather don't focus on the issue because most of the people are partisan. So the red story, the UP people, they will not bring that up. Okay, if the same with the CDC, they did that. And so whatever voice I can add there with the help of platforms like this, if I wish I knew Joseph Burgart's phone number, because I will call their office. I know they will not pick up. So again, I think we do a great service for the Liberian people. But let us not just focus on the problem. Let's try to focus on some of the solutions. We can't keep bringing back recycled people in government and expect to change. That is my closing statement.
Thank you.
Okay,
Great.
so yeah, for me to close the argument tonight, I would say that very disappointed in the AFL administration for a soldier to get murdered or whatever allegations around his death, and they have not come out to even say anything about this. Is sad. UP government people did their part, when George Weah was president. If that was George Weah in position right now as president, people like Eugene Falcon would be here and saying over and over, pumping it into the people's head and telling them about Bobby Manning family and his children he got and how they murdered him, and they were going to say it over and over. But since they took over government, all these deaths are happening in the country and nobody's saying anything because they are in power now. So everything being swept under the rug. And it's sad for us to watch these things and just, it just slide away and nothing's being done about it. So and that's why we continue to say President Burgart government is continuing to fail since they took over, even in the almost 6 months. I will also say that what happening in the DEA, the LDEA, President Burgart need to take a quick stance on that thing, or else it will bring serious problem to the country. It's a security threat to the nation, and they need to really look into it ASAP. He need to hurry up and do something. And I will also say that every time I close the argument here, I will tell Liberian people to open your eyes. Open your eyes, Liberians. 2029 is coming. It's almost here. This is no joke. It's time for Liberians to change their direction. We cannot allow the same people over and over to tell the young generation, the middle-aged generation, which is between the young and the middle age, which is between the age of 32 all the way to 60 years old. They cannot tell these people that we should always bend our back for them to climb on it and sit into power and then tell us what to do while they already live their future. So you need to open your eyes on these politicians that come to Liberia and run for positions. And after that, as soon as the election over, they come to the houses here in America and sit down. We need people who live in Liberia, their dreams are in Liberia, they have nowhere else to go but Liberia. That's the kind of people we need to put into power, because Liberia is what they have, and they will make sure everything happens good for the future. And that is Dr. Moniba. So I'm just telling you people to open your eyes. Do not let these people sway you again. Do not let it happen, because then another 6 years is added to your age and you have done nothing to your life and you have not put anything forth for your children to come. So open your eyes, Liberian. I will close my argument every time I come here like this. You have to make sure this time around, make sure you do your due diligence and look into every government official, every person that's trying to run for president. Everybody that in leadership, look into them, see what they're doing for the country, see what they're doing for their district, see what they're doing for everything around them, what they promised the people they would do. Do not come and vote these same politicians in because they want you to bend their back and they give you small money for the short term. So open your eyes. There was a nice show tonight, and I'm always happy to be on this platform. We'll continue to close the argument. Thank you.
Well, the argument is closed, and we are grateful to have been on here tonight. In my closing argument, I'm not going to reiterate anything.
Grace, please call me after the show.
I'll just close.
No.
I'll just close on this note by saying
I will call you with me and my husband on the phone. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who is on the phone.
Yeah, I put him there for
I just want to close the argument.
with me.
so.
Yeah.
So you guys, are you guys gonna let me to close my argument,
Well,
or you're
go
just
ahead.
gonna interrupt me? But anyway, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our Liberian kids that are graduating from high school, especially Seattle. Chelsea P. Norris kids who graduated from high school in the Minnesota area. They graduated, both of them, and with the hope of actually going to college. And of course, other kids around the United States who are graduating this month. We appreciate you all for just trying to move on and continue to excel. That's great. So our heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to all of you guys for work. It's not an easy thing to go to school in the United States, especially through high school and go through the rank and file and graduate. It's not an easy thing because of all the peer pressure. So we cannot ignore these things, and we must continue to appreciate them. And I'll close on by saying happy birthday to my little sister, Josephine Lewis, out of Chocolate City. You celebrated your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And I wish you had a great birthday celebration. Thank you all for being a part of the conversation. Please encourage your kids to understand that Liberia is our only common ground, and let us not fall into the trap of being divisive, the us versus them syndrome that is going on. We cannot continue that or maintain it because we all must contribute to the forward movement of Liberia. Thank you all for being here. You all have this as a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Yep. People said I need more right here. Bushman, you got this? I'm tired, man. I can see it. Thank you, boss.